Welcome to another exciting episode of Way of the Brush with me, your host, Kris, aka the Name Butcher, aka Hey You Get Off My Lawn, aka Kris, you're being creepy again. Way of the Brush, the most informative 120 minutes on the internet on the wargaming lifestyle. We'll talk about painting, terrain, conversions, and everything under the sun, meaning no topics are barred. We'll talk about anything and everything. So, if you want to keep the conversation on the topic of wargaming and painting and all that, feel free to ask your questions in the chat, whichever direction it might be in for you. And of course, if you're watching this after the fact, you can submit your questions to Kris at wayofthebrush.com. It is in the description below. If you're going to send pictures, send them as attachments in the email. Don't send it off as links to other sites because I just won't do it. It's annoying and, whatevers. Also, we've been also doing this other segment on the show. Instagram. Use the hashtag #WayOfTheBrush. And because we do a little Instagram portion just for anybody who, prefers Instagrams and doesn't really feel like, they need to ask a whole big email. They can just post it and share it. And of course, sharing is caring. Sharing is caring. Yeah. Prove me wrong, children. Prove me wrong. Also in the description below is a link to wayofthebrush.com, central hub of all the silliness, has links to all the social medias, as well as Discord. Join us on Discord. It's a lot of fun. We keep the conversation rolling there. And I only have one rule. Don't be a dick. That's it. It's the only rule. Also, at wayofthebrush.com, you'll find a link for t-shirts. Oh, I think you should be able to see it down below again. T-shirts. Oh, let's see if we can fit that in there. There we go. Sorry, it looks kind of like I'm doing some sort of boob lift. But anyway. T-shirts. Help support the cause. Look like a connoisseur of all that is good and holy in this world. They're wearing a Way of the Brush t-shirt. And of course, if you purchase yourself a shirt, send a picture of yourself in your shirt and I will add it to the Monkey Shrine, which is also at wayofthebrush.com. And of course, you'll find a link for Patreon. A huge thank you to my patrons. Without your support, this channel would not be able to continue to do what it is that I do, which is educate, inform, and sometimes entertain. Occasionally. Periodically. Sporadically. Some other elite. So a huge thank you to everybody who does. There's varying tiers of support, and click whatever makes sense to you. And of course, there's various perks associated with those tiers. So a huge thank you to everybody who does. If you're not able to support monetarily, i.e. money, thumbing up the video, liking, following, subscribing, sharing, and commenting, and all that stuff, all the interactions help this channel grow and, maybe help others who, are asking similar questions. Whatever it is, I have no idea. So that's what this channel is all about. It's all about helping you guys. That's it. That's the only goal. Fresh tips. It's about answering questions. Way of the Brush, answering questions. Live streams like this, answering questions. It's all about answering questions. It's all about connecting. It's all about the sharing. For God's sakes, man. It's all about the sharing. Big thank you to Carl, a.k.a. Guymere Alfair, a.k.a. Beer and Blood Bowl. That's his YouTube channel. Check him out if you love yourself some beer. You love yourself some Blood Bowl. Beer and Blood Bowl is where it's at. We always take the time to thank Carl, even though he is no longer with us, for taking the time out of his busy day to create the email jingle that plays before the email segments of the show. It's always much love to Carl. And of course, speaking of love, much love to my baby brother Evan for creating the outro music that plays at the begin and end of the show. So always much love to my baby bro, Evan. And if you're into rare comics, EB Comics, he's got the hookup. It's in the description below. Check it out. He might have the comic you were looking for. You're like, I've got all these comics. I got one missing, and it's rare. He might have it. He deals in rare. He's got like the trench coat, and he's got all the comic books in his coat, and he's walking around. See anything you like. I don't know where I was going with any of that. Ebb and flow, sup everybody, sup Kayoma, hey Ghost of Starman, hey monkeys. Kris got back from a late lunch with the fam just in time for the show. Cool. With the fam. Late lunch with the fam? Oh yeah, it's like dinner. Isn't it dinner time? Is it dinner time like in the UK? Like 5, 6? Isn't that dinner time? Do you guys call it? Is it supper or dinner? I don't know. I don't think it's lunch. Lunch, like over here, we call lunch like the 12 o'clock mark. Like that's lunchtime. You go grab your midday meal. Anyway, semantics, I know. Ban Shun, damn it, I'm a dick. Can't be here. No, you can be here on the Discord. Just don't be a dick. That's it. It's a pretty broad criteria of conduct, but there's a lot of things, lots of little things that can trickle down into being a dick. It's not just being a dick is not just one thing. It's not one thing that makes a person a dick. It's many little things. And so when they funnel into a central point and you go, oh, I think this person might be being a dick. Right? So just don't be a dick. That's it. That's all. It's pretty simple. It's really straightforward, you know. And of course, there's, you know, on the Discord, we talk about all sorts of crazy crap. And yeah, there's like no filter. It's pretty wide open. I mean, obviously, don't be a dick, you know, no sexist, racist, you know, phobic, whatever kind of talk. It won't be tolerated. Because that's being a dick. That's being a dick. I'm a, you know, it's kind of a sad state of affairs if you guys are looking for any kind of clarity from me as far as what constitutes being a dick. If you have not learned by this point of what being a dick is, you've got a difficult road ahead of you. I think you might be in some trouble as far as, you know, getting along with others. Oh, somebody just joined. Biker Pete. I'll give him his welcome later. Biker Pete? Yeah, Biker Pete. Biker Pete. He's probably going to jump in and start being a dick, probably. Watch. Senor Pinor. Am I saying that right? Pinor? Is that like is it like Peener? I'm probably butchering that, but anyway. Morning, Kris. Morning. Banchun. In the UK, if you are working class, lunch is dinner and tea is dinner. If you're middle class, lunch is lunch and dinner is dinner. Fuck, what? Work that out. Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, like, the idea of societal language being used, terms that, you know, everybody uses but mean different things to different classes of people, does feel like a very UK kind of thing. I'm sure it's on this side of the pond as well, but it doesn't feel as prevalent, if that makes sense. But I'm sure it's here as well. Again, because Canada and US, I mean, colonies of England and, you know, all that, right? Ghost Starman. Yeah, it's just gone 5 here, but we spent a while at the restaurant. I've heard it's less common doing that on your side of the pond. We got there around half one. If I recall. Yeah, like lunch is dinner and tea is dinner. Yeah, well, over here, I mean, we don't really have a tea time. That's not really a thing, considering that, you know, ex-colony kind of thing, right? And yeah, but I mean, made up stupid shit on this side too. I mean, what the fuck is brunch? And, you know, what's another one? There's brunch. Is brunch before lunch or after lunch? Is it before lunch or after lunch? I can't remember. I don't know. It's one of those stupid things. Again, these are just stupid made up things that are just annoying. Ghost Starman. My parents brought me back fancy booze from their birthday by Hadrian's Wall. I considered this an absolute win. Well, sure, free booze is free booze, man. Or fancy booze. Well, they bought you fancy booze. What's fancy booze? I don't know what fancy booze is. As you can tell, I'm really sophisticated, you know. So, what's fancy booze? What? Okay. I'm sure in the UK, I'm sure there's booze, there's fancy booze, and then there's booze for the bottom, right? So, because there's classes, right? So, yeah. I'm not saying it in like a negative way. It does sound like I'm saying it in a negative way, but I'm trying not to. I mean, you know, the idea of classes is, again, made up bullshit. But anyway, Senor Pinor. Yeah, you're saying it right. It's pronounced like Senor. Okay, Senor Pinor. Okay. It's just because, like, peener, like the colloquialism for penis, peener, Senor Peener. That's why it sounds kind of funny to me, that's all. Yes, I'm a big child. Peter Berg. I lurk too much to be a dick. I don't say very much. Oh, you're Biker Pete? Oh, you're Biker Pete. Okay. Well, welcome, Biker Pete. And yeah, feel free to cruise around, ask questions, or don't lurk, whatever. Whatever you want. Senor, brunch is just breakfast for lunch. So brunch happens at lunch, but it's breakfast food at lunch? So what's dinner? Like having breakfast food at dinner? Because I've done that plenty of times. Is that Brinner? Bupper? See, we start treading into some really weird territory when we start kind of pulling the threads of these silly things. Brupper? I kind of like Brupper. It's kind of like after you finished it, it was a big one, and you Brupper, you let one of those deep chest burps out, just Brupper. What do we have for dinner? Oh, we're having Brupper. Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Cool. How long do you got to cook that for? Doesn't take long. Just fry some eggs, some bacon, some toast. Good to go. Derek Luterus. Hey, everybody. Hey. Ghost of Starman. Rhubarb and ginger gin. Sounds pretty good to me. Rhubarb and ginger gin. I don't know if I've ever had a ginger gin. I don't know if I've ever had rhubarb alcohol. Interesting. You know what? That does sound pretty fancy. Okay, you know what? I take it all back. I take it all back, Ghost. That sounds fancy. Rhubarb and ginger gin. I mean, like, growing up as a kid, rhubarb in my home territory, grew all over the place. Well, in our yard anyway. Grew up all over the place. And yeah, not ginger, though. We didn't have ginger around. Got to go to the store for that one. Although I seen a hack. I don't know if it was TikTok or if it was the tubes or what. It was, basically taking like a sprig of rhubarb or a ginger and just lop off the nubs, what you need. And then you can like lop it down, set it aside, and it'll start to, grow some more, right? And you can just basically keep cultivating that single root and, keep going. I thought that was kind of fun because I loves me some ginger. We cook quite a bit of food with gingers in it. With gingers. Yeah. That's right. I said gingers, plural. And yeah, I've always been kind of curious about giving that a try. I just, it's kind of like you get these really great ideas, and it's kind of like the little monkey in The Simpsons that helps Homer. It's Mojo. Yeah, I don't know. Ebb and flow. Beer, 30? Or, as mi amigo says, cerveza media? Sure, beer 30. Beer o'clock is fine, right? Yeah. It's beer 30 somewhere, right? It's beer o'clock. Although, mind you, old Kris, he can't drink quite as much beer as he used to. Not since the sugar beaties got a hold of him. It's been a pretty steep climb getting out of that fucking hole. I'll tell you. It's been costly. Sacrifices have been made. And it fucking sucks. But nobody said anything worthwhile was easy, right? Unless somebody said it, I don't know, but it wasn't me. It wasn't this guy. Jabba's left nut. Booze is just a vehicle to get me through the day. Yeah, I'd always heard that in the UK, England, I guess, that a great deal of people are functioning alcoholics. And the short time that I was visiting, what was that, 2 years ago? Yeah, nothing swayed that view I realize it's a stereotype, of course, but yeah, there was a lot of pubs, a lot of drinking. You know, I mean, I'm not looking down on it. In fact, I kind of wish that prevalence and that culture, considering that we're dealing with ex-colonies on this side of the pond, you would think that kind of culture would have permeated here, but it didn't. And you know, yeah, because I mean, like, it seems like a great deal of fun, and you know, I mean, I'm convinced that alcohol is the social lubricant that keeps cities functioning. It keeps everybody from killing each other, right? Which is why during this whole world global pandemic, that a lot of places did not stop selling alcohol, right? Like beer stores and, you know, liquor stores and stuff like that. They stayed open because they were essential. Not just for, you know, obviously the alcoholics and stuff like that, but for everybody else, because, you know, it's like The Shining. It's like The Shining, right? The guy, he's a creative writer, but he's trapped in this giant place that has tons of room for everybody, yet they can't get along. Why? Because no alcohol. And he ends up trying to kill his whole family. Spoiler, if you haven't seen The Shining. Or read it or whatever. But anyway, the man goes bananas. And yeah, no alcohol. No alcohol made the guy go bananas. And so, you know, you kind of need alcohol for society to function. At least until humanity grows up, as it were. Coma. It would be weird if we all started to write in our own language here in the chat. Oh yeah, Coma, you'd have me all fucked up. You started writing Norwegian. Norwegian? Yeah, Norwegian. Yeah, I'd be all messed up from that. Yeah, and especially if somebody would start speaking like Mandarin, somebody speaking Norwegian, throw in some Spanish and some French, ye old English. even ye old English would have me confounded. Or what was it? Welsh. Throw in some Welsh in there. Oh fuck, I'd be right fucked up. Yeah. Banshan, 3 meals a day is a fairly modern invention. Yes, that's what I've understood. Is that, yeah, it's since the industrial age, probably even after that. Harry, so we're off the tracks now? Are we? Are we off the tracks? Maybe. More than likely. Ghost of Starman, that ginger thing's just another one of those hacks that are just people rediscovering how plants work. True, right? Because ginger essentially is just a root, and like you take a potato and you leave it alone for a while in some damp, dark place, and it starts springing up again, right? Yeah, I imagine it's the same thing. I'm not much of a green thumb. It's shocking, I know, but yeah. Mansion, there are no tracks here. It's like driving a bus on a frozen lake. Yeah, kind of. That's kind of it. It's kind of it. It's like a rocket-powered school bus loaded with kids, preschoolers, and we're just skating around the ice trying to do donuts. We're trying to do some sick drifts. Johnny Wraith. Holy carmolies, Johnny Wraith. There's a name I haven't read in a while. Holy man, how you been? Nurgle bums and ass capes for all. Hello, Kris. Hello, Johnny. Wow. Been a long time, bud. Harry Banshun, LOL. Harry Banshun. Harry Banshun. That should be somebody's name now. Harry Banshun. Ghost of Starman, if they'd had booze, The Shining would have just been the dulling. Exactly, right? There'd have been no trouble. There would have been no trouble if old Jack could have just at least had a drink. Right? If he could have just had a drink, everything would have been okay. He might have smacked up the old lady a little bit, which I'm not condoning, but they wouldn't have died. Less likely. I mean, still. Johnny Wraith, I agree with liking the whole drinking culture in the UK. I remember going there for work a few years ago, and I really liked that everyone in the office went to the corner pub after work and hung out. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Or just going to the pub at lunchtime. I mean, is it now in the UK? Here's a question. In the UK, is it okay to have a pint with, say, your morning with your eggs in the morning, and then have a pint at lunch, and have 2 pints at dinner? Is that socially acceptable? Or is it strictly noon or lunchtime or dinner? I don't know what the fuck, but lunchtime and then dinner. Like breakfast, no, you have problems if you're drinking in the breakfast. Or do people go, yeah, I have a Guinness first thing in the morning. It's because Guinness really, I mean, like, it has like, all the vitamins you need, really. You could probably survive off Guinness. If you were on a liquid diet, you could probably just drink Guinness and you'd be okay. You'd get all your vitamins. Ben Shun. Oh, fuck, I can't even read that. What is that? Yidchin Sirid Kimru, Kris? Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna fuck you, Ben Shun. I'm gonna fucking put that into Google Translate. That we're going to Google Translate now. You fucked me up. Now we're going to Google Translate. Where the fuck is Google Translate? Why the fuck is it way down there? Anyway, okay. Let's see. What does it tell me? Oh, Welsh detected. Okay, well I gotta hear this shit. Holy fuck, that sounds like somebody speaking backwards. You know when you hear an audio clip of somebody talking and then they play it in reverse? That's what that sounds like. I don't even understand that. If somebody spoke that to me, I would be at a loss. I'd be like, holy shit, what? You know what that sounds like? That sounds like, wait, let me listen to it again. Wow, that's fun. You know what that sounds like? That sounds like the little Imperial probe droids from Empire Strikes Back. They come out of the snow and he's talking. That's what that sounds like. All you're missing is a couple bleep bloops, and that's it. I'm not making fun of Welsh here, people. Do you speak Wales? No, I don't speak Wales. I see that in the translate now, but I'm not making fun of it. But holy shit, yeah, that's fun. That's a fun language. Ghost Starman, how can you not be a green thumb, Kris? You use Goblin Green on your bases. No, actually, like I have dabbled, in, planting and stuff like that. Not so much though. The wife has expressed more desire to do that kind of thing. Right now, we've got a couple plants on the go. Medicinal. I think you guys know what I'm talking about here. And yeah, they're in her charge because I'm under my care. They might die. Under her care, they might die, but it's a little less likely. a little less likely. I mean, if I can trust her to, take care of my kids, I think I can trust her with some plants. Maybe not. I don't know. Kaoma, I don't do alcohol and have not had any the last 17 years. No, good for you. I mean, like, I'm not saying that alcohol is for everyone. I'm just saying that in cities, alcohol is the social lubricant that keeps everybody playing nicely with each other. That's all I'm saying. That's my point. If I had a point. Of which I don't. Dark Commission, good evening, Kris and Monkeys. Good evening, Dark Commission. Johnny Wraith, yeah, I've been good, Kris. Much better lately. I've gotten into the rhythm of painting early in the morning, just an hour or two before work every day. It's really helped out getting some projects done. Awesome. That's awesome. That's good to hear. I'm glad you're still painting. I know I haven't haven't heard from you in a long time. It's been a while. I don't know how long. I wasn't keeping track, but no, it's good. It's good to hear. I wasn't sure. We actually got on the topic of Johnny Wraith not too long ago, I recall, because Oh, because we were talking about the example of people who you could see visibly becoming better, and your name came up because it's just one of the few names that I recall, getting, pretty steady updates as far as, like what your earlier work was and how you were going and, where you were going and, stuff like that. I was talking you up a bit. Ghost of Starman. I feel like Google Translate deserves its own slot on the show, where you guys throw something at me and I just try and translate it. Oh man, yeah, I couldn't. I mean, I still that does not. Yeah, if somebody started speaking to me like that, I'd be like, what? Whoa, huh? Whoa, huh? Whoa. Whoa, whoa. Yeah, I'd probably sound like a goddamn stoner. Whoa, 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 whoa. Slow down, slow down. Dark Commission. This is the worst Welsh pronunciation I've ever heard. My dad was a Welsh speaker. Well, it's Google Translate. What do you want? It's a robot. It's like if we had Stephen Hawking's up here fucking translating all this shit. I mean, it still sounds the same. It'd be, you know what I mean? Like, Johnny Wraith, how have you been? Been a long time since we last spoke. Yeah, it's been a while, man. Been a while. It's good to see you're still alive and kicking, and by the sounds of it, sounds like everything's good with you, bud. So that's good. It's good to hear. I'm glad you made it in. Keoma, growing jazz cabbage takes a lot of nutrients and the right light at specific times. Yes, it does. We've got our backyard has sunlight pretty much almost all the day. Our backyard's kind of like very long. It's not very wide, but it's pretty long, and there's not a lot of trees. I mean, even though I live like right next to a wooded area, sunlight comes in around like closer to 10, and the backyard is just sunlight. And yeah, by the end of the day, yeah, there's still plenty of sun coming in. So yeah, no, there's plenty of sun. I know, like they're supposed to grow like they're like a subtropical, I think. I mean, with all the splicing and manipulation of the plant, I'm sure it probably isn't quite as fragile as that anymore, or maybe it's more fragile. I have no idea. Again, not much of a green thumb. Ghost Starman. I was gonna say that I haven't had alcohol in the last 17 hours, but then I remembered I was up till 1 a.m. drinking, so actually it's not been that long. Yeah, dude, yeah, it's barely 12 hours. The alcohol is probably still present in your system. That's okay, because sometimes if I overdo it on my brownies, I wake up and I'm still kind of loose. Johnny Wraith. Oh, I'll have to send pictures of my latest finished projects. Yes, please do. Please do. If you want to send an email, please send an email. Please. If you're on the Instagrams, you can use the hashtag #WayTheBrush. I'll see it there. Either one. Hail Bop. Heyo. 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 In fact, you know what? Speaking of Instagrams, let's head over to Instagram right now. I don't have theme music for Instagram for this segment, this leg of the show. So, Instagram. It's fucking terrible, I know, but anyway. All right, where are we? Oh, this is just that part. Okay, here we go. Oh, spoiler. This one's from Disco Duke. Classic Wood Elf Weight Watcher on a scenic base with a bit of water effects. Let's give it a like. I like it. It's clean. I like the base. Oh yeah, I like to see the water effects. Oh, was it the UV Cure resin that you did? Because because it looks like it kind of like trickles over the rock, which in itself is a pretty cool looking effect. But if I wanted to show it like more like depth, I think it would have been better to dam it and then cure resin in there. I don't know, Disco, are you here today? If you're not here, well, yeah. I like the paint job. It's effective. I like the little spots of color on them. Base is a lot of fun. It's a really huge base for a little guy like that, but, you know, big whoop. Also, if you guys hear like a little droning sound in the background, that's my fan. It's just because it's getting warm around here and in my parts. Not in my parts, but, well, in my parts, but you know what I mean. But, is that it? Oh, that was the last one. Okay. Yeah. I digs it. I likes it. I like the base. Lots of texture. I don't know if you've painted any of that or if that's just a natural coloring. If you painted it to look like a natural coloring, bravo. If you didn't paint it, I mean, you know, it's effective. Yeah. Bases with lots of texture are always lots of fun. It's another one from Disco, calling this guy done now. I'm getting based up once he's fully dry and varnished. Cool. Yeah, I remember we looked at him last week and you were going to do the shadowing on his shell. I like all the texture. I like the highlights of the flesh. I think a little bit more distinction of the highlights on the plates of his chest, kind of like how you create, like you highlighted all the separate muscle groups on his flesh. I kind of would like to have seen that on the shell, you know. Looks a bit like you were stippling a yellow on there. Yeah, see, like your work on the flesh is really good. I like how you have the striations in the flesh. And I kind of would like to have seen that in the shell. Like, it's really good. Is there no back pictures of his back shell? His back shell, is that what it's called? The back shell? I don't know. But yeah, yeah. I get the feeling that you were over this. You were over it, and you were ready to move on. That's the impression I get, bud. But really nice. I like it. It's fun, and it's a turtle. It's not my favorite turtle. Fergie Fergs. Pretty proud of the sheer fabric. Now to finish off the skin tones and hit the headdress. This is fantastic work. The sheer effect on the fabric is wonderful. It's very convincing. I'm going to assume that texture of the fabric is sculpted. I'm going to assume, but I mean, I'm not familiar with this sculpt, so I have no idea. The work on the flesh is really great too. Like her face is almost lifelike. I really like this piece. I really like it. The sheer fabric effect is really good. Yeah, I don't really have anything to critique as this essentially is a work in progress, as you're not done yet. But I'm gonna say though, you're off to a really fantastic start. And I mean, if I'm just looking at just her flesh tones and the sheer fabric, yeah, this is really great. Like your work on the face is really good. I even like that little inclusion of the beauty mark on her upper lip. Yeah, like this is the kind of Medusa that would probably get me killed. Cause I'd be like, oh hey, how's it going? You know. I dig it though. I dig it. The work is really nice. The sheer fabric effect is convincing. I think as you build closer up towards her collar, I think the shadows there could get a little bit more intense, and probably the highlights probably don't need to run quite as high up there. But then again, I mean, it might look different in person. But yeah, this is really fabulous work. Yeah, her face, like, really excellent work on the face. And again, I realize this is work in progress, and so you're going to be taking your time. Um, but yeah, it's really, really wonderful stuff. The Wannabe Painter finished my 4th Legion Havocs. Went for the Grimdark style, and I think it worked out a bit. Still have to improve my rust and skin work, but in the end, I'm pleased with the result. Some new Chaos Havocs. These are what, Iron Legion? Is that what these guys? Iron Legion or Iron Fist? Whatever the hell they're called. You know what I'm talking about. Yes, very grimdark. Where, like, really one of the things, like, I think, like, really, like, when people start talking about a grimdark paint job, is basically just throwing a lot of sepia onto the model. As Blanche is a huge fan of, sepia tones. Yeah, that's really what the telltale. So anybody who's been struggling with, getting a grimdark feeling on their models, just use, well, if you're painting Citadel stuff, well, I mean, why would you be painting anything other than Warhammer 40k in grimdark? But, I mean, you could. I'm not saying you can't. It's just, typical. But anyway, yeah, using, like, Agrax Earthshade and any of the deep browns like Dryad Bark or anything like that, break into a shade wash and push it into recesses and stuff like that. Not having a lot of dark shadows, and using dark browns to be your shadows, but also giving everything kind of this brown filter over the entire surface, and that's pretty much a grimdark. And this is a very effective demonstration of grimdark. But you still see some of the patina, the verdigris on like the brass points and stuff like that, which introduce a little visual interest, a little bit of color. And when looking at like John Blanche's artwork style, it is a heavy use of sepias, but also little spots of red or blue, or little spots of color here and there, just to create visual interest, right? And yeah, and the verdigris here accomplishes that. But they're all beaten up. I like it. I like it a lot. Like, saying that it's a clean paint job would be misleading, but it is a clean paint job. It's very deliberate. It's a very deliberate effort here to make it look all fucked up, right? And that takes patience, practice. What's the other one? Perseverance. I dig it though. I like it. Yeah, there's no mistaking that this is grimdark. Very, very cool. Thank you for sharing. Bearded Yeti painting. Base test for my DBS Brawler. I think I don't like it much. Let's give that a link. For the base, it's... See, I'm not that familiar with like what the combat settings are typically like in Infinity, so I'm reluctant to say whether, to change to, like greens, like jungle and grass, or, browns and reddy tones, for earth or desert, and you know what I mean? Like, I'm not sure, because typically Infinity, I mean, like, at least from what I've observed, I have no experience. It always seems like it's in city settings, like sci-fi, Blade Runner-esque kind of cyberpunk type of thing, right? I like the weathering on the boots. I think a little bit more, breaking the color down into a wash, letting it reside within the recesses of the boots would give that impression of a more dusted appearance. Kind of like you see how up a little higher than the ankles, kind of like at the shin level. You see how some of the color is falling into recesses. If you'd have done that more for the boots, that would give it more of that dry dirt dust kind of thing. I think what you're not liking is that the level of gray that is predominant on the base is the same kind of gray that you've got going on elsewhere on the model, and so it does not allow the model to exist. I think if you had the whole base feeling more like that dried rock, dust, dirt stuff all over the place, I think if you made the base feel more like that, I think you definitely would probably enjoy it a bit more, and it also would make more sense visually that his boots are all dusty and dirty and stuff like that, and if the base had more of that dried earth kind of thing, just an idea. I like it though, but yeah, I think that's what it is. It's the harsh gray. It's that dark gray, and I think it should be that lighter tan brown, and that way the darker elements of this model will help frame it better and help it pop and exist more in the space. But yeah, I'm not an expert on infinity pieces, so I can't say. Oh, we've already seen this. Did we see this? Oh, yeah, we saw that. Did we see this? Yeah, we saw that. All right. That is it for the hashtags. Wait, oh, the brush. Wait, oh, the brush. Wait, oh, the brush. Anyway. Comments. Where the hell am I in these comments here? I have no idea. Oh, I'm lost. Oh, I'm lost. Dark Commission, impressive Medusa. Yes, it is very impressive. Sean Blake. Hey, my dudes. Hey. Fergs. Just got your like on Instagram and forgot I'd uploaded this. Ha ha ha. Oh, the Infinity dude? Yeah. It's good. I liked it. Reinvented Modeler. Oh, awesome, mate. Yep. Thanks. And reinvented. Blah, 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 blah. Fergs. The Iron Warriors. Okay. Thanks. Not had the motivation to do more work on it over the past few days. Just need to bite the bullet. Yeah. Always. Especially when you're if you have a limited amount of time, it's good to just kind of sit at your space in your allotted time. If you kind of like to have a little bit more structure in your day, kind of thing, pick times, right? So I don't know what your home life situation is like, how busy you are or whatever, right? But anyway, having structured time, sit down at your station, and even if you don't really feel like doing anything, just start puttering away on cleaning up or maintenance, brush care, clearing out paint pot lids, or what I mean, just kind of work a day kind of stuff, just kind of prepping your area. And then eventually you might all of a sudden get the bug, and you know what, I still have an hour or so left that I've allotted myself to work on stuff, and yeah, I feel like painting now, and you just hammer out for an hour, right? Hammer out. I don't know. I think you guys get my meaning. Coma. Blanche did almost all his work in the Zorn palette. Reinvented model. Yeah, hard work sometimes. Eyes get a bit baggy. Yeah. Ghost Starman Deluxe. I like the green plasma. Suits Iron Warriors quite well. Yeah, the green. I've seen Iron Warriors done with magenta plasma coils. I like that. Just because magenta's so vibrant, especially if you use an actual fluorescence, especially with how dull, and you know what I mean, like how, I guess really it's desaturated, and it's not really super contrasty. you know, where you have like all that metallic, and then you have like, you know, the chevrons and stuff like that, and then you have this bright element like a magenta plasma coil on a pistol. You know what I mean? And it could just, you know, especially if you did like the eyes, you know, and glow and everything like that. It just really, you know, draws the viewer into the model. Jeffers, I do like Iron Wars like this. You can picture them fighting in the trenches. Yes, definitely. Oh yeah, definitely. Disco Duke, here now. Hi, Kris and the Monkeys. Hi, Disco. Gerald Brooks, holy. Hi, Nietzsche. Hi. Hi, Jerry. Darker Mission. 1 year, when I get around to them, I'm going to base my Infinity models on clear plastic discs to suit any sororitas. Yeah, I think so. I don't see anything wrong with clear bases, especially anybody who, you know, who wants their models to kind of blend into, you know, whatever setting. You know, like if you're a big tournament player, why not do your bases in clear so that, you know, it looks cool? Or you do a lot of, well, I guess not tournament player, but I guess more like just a pick up and go kind of, or pick up and play kind of player. You know, you go to your local hobby shop, and you know, you're gonna play on 1 week, you know, a forest board, and then next week you're on a snowboard, and you know what I mean. And whereas, you know, but you also like to kind of have, you know, pretty pictures, or maybe you're filming it or what have you. And yeah, I think clear bases are the way to go aesthetically. You know, if you want your miniatures to kind of look like they're part of, you know, the environment that they're currently, you know, playing in, right? As opposed to like, you know, when you see like, say for example, like a lot of Space Wolf players, and they'll have like bits of snow on their model, and the base has got rocks and snow, and you know what I mean, and it looks great and it fits the theme of the models, but on the tabletop, I don't know, it doesn't take me all the way out of it, but it's kind of like, you know, especially if you wanted to take pictures and you know commemorate the experience, and you know, yeah, you got your Space Wolves running around and they're all covered in snow, and it's a desert map you're playing on, right? You got dunes and, you know, debris. It's an orc village, you know, and you got all that orky buildings, and it's always, why is it always orcs are always depicted in deserty type of stuff? I don't understand why that is. How come they're never like in a jungle world, or you know what I mean, like their orc buildings are in jungle stuff and or rocks, or you know, whatever. Why is that? Why is it always depicted as you know, Mad Max kind of thing? Why is it always that visualization? I'm asking. Reinventor Modeler. Evening, Kris. Thinly waxed and 1 foot long. There's a song in there somewhere. Nice work, neatly. Nice work lately on that sororitas. Yes. Patrons just got access to, wait, sorry, the backpack. So the backpack is done. We're calling it done for now. I mean, as I go through this process of getting this figure done, yeah, I mean, you know, I might go back and touch up places here and there. But yeah, next I think we'll work on maybe the head or the torso. Probably the head. Get that one out of the way. Mainly because I'm going to do the helmet, but like I plan on doing a head swap, because I have this head of Ruby Rose, the actress. It's a likeness of her. It's not her actual head. That's just mean. But yeah, and it works well in the armor. The only thing is though, is I don't know how I'm going to properly position the head in the neck space so that it works properly, because the way it's all created, it's not easy to swap that head out and have that column be where, you know, it's kind of annoying. But anyway, no fucks given. 15 minutes until GW animation announcement. Okay. Finlay Robinson. Sorry, Kris, I've only just joined. You think a sand base would be better? I think so. I think a sand, like just the same colors that you did with that broken rock and sand, because you've already thrown the impression that that sand is kicking up on his boots and it's collecting on his boots. And I think why not just lean right into it and just have that base be it mostly sand. I really wouldn't go too hilarious on creating really deep brown tones and really bright beige tones. I would go for the middle ground. Go for that kind of what's the color, like it's in Citadel it's called Zameshi Desert. It's kind of a yellowy brown. It's not very dark. I would go with that with a slight dry brushing, if you're into dry brushing, I don't know, whatever. But just catching the highlights, the texture with, say, something like Ushabti bone, which is darker than an off-white. It's a bone color. It's a darker bone color. I think that would frame it better. Especially if you're not entirely happy with how, because basically that base, it looks like it almost goes to a black in the shadows, and then it's a dark gray on its highlights, and you already have a bunch of that going on the model, and that might be why you're not feeling it, right? Whereas if you threw in it looks kind of deserty, and you could even have like a little tuft of grass on that base. You already got rocks going on, well, you can have some grass poking up by the rock or whatever, just one or two little grassy type elements, and that would also help break up that surface, and kind of give that model more space, right, to exist, kind of thing. Does that make sense? Aaron Seach, howdy Kris and Monkey Brethren, happy Saturday. Finlay Robertson, if you don't sit down and to paint, you'll never paint. Exactly, right? Exactly. Hail Bob, got a surprise package today, errata for Reichbusters, and they just mailed everyone who bought a box with all the updates. I don't know what Reichbusters are. What's Reichbusters? Jeffers, sorry, late to the show. Have you looked at GW's new STC brushes, synthetic, or are they replacing the other brushes? I think the STC brushes will exist beside the Sable brushes. I think, anyway. I don't know. I mean, hard to say. I mean, it's realistically, Citadel probably should have had synthetic brushes when they last updated their paint line. But whatever. Synthetic brushes, though, I mean, good. Especially, but the only thing that I did notice something, though. Here, hold on. Because, let's go to this. We'll go to the site. Now, I'm on the Canadian site, so prices are going to be a little different for, others out there and, what have yous. But anyway, okay, so the small layer brush is $7.75, right? And what's the most expensive brush? $9.75? $9.75 is the most expensive brush, and that is a medium dry brush. Oh, wait, no, sorry, we got more. $12.50 for extra large base brush. That's a pretty darn big brush. That's probably like a 1-inch brush. The large shade wash brush is $13.95. Okay. Actually, I'm kind of curious to see how that would perform, the large shade brush. But anyway, $13.95 Canadian. Okay. We head over to the brushes, and let's just go with, well, what do we say? The large shade brush? Yeah. Large shade brush is $14. So it's $13.95 for the synthetic, but it's $14 for the natural haired, the natural fiber. That is not much of a price difference. Now, where I have noticed a huge price difference is these artificial brushes. The artificial brush, layer brush, medium, $32. Extra small artificial layer brush, $26, and $30 for the artificial layer brush. So, it's when you're getting into the more detailed stuff that you are seeing a difference in price. Now, I don't know if this is consistent across all of Games Workshop as far as like what country codes and blah 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 blah. But yeah, the synthetics should be cheaper. The synthetics really, realistically, should be what Games Workshop, gears their audience towards, as far as brushes are concerned, because synthetics, in theory, should be cheaper to produce than, of course, the long desired sable brushes, right? And with the synthetics, they should be cheaper, and for newer people to the hobby, they're not benefiting at all. When a new person asks, what are the best brushes? First of all, asking whatever the best whatever is the telltale sign of somebody who is not that informed and is not that likely to persist within this hobby. It's kind of, passing fancy, as it were. When somebody entering this hobby who's brand new and is not really that familiar, they have a passing knowledge of a paintbrush and paint, and you apply it to a model, right? That's about as far as their knowledge goes. Nothing wrong with that. Everybody starts somewhere. The synthetic brushes, are better suited for people who are relatively new. Reason being is they are at the beginning of developing, they're becoming more efficient and better painters. I've said it many times before. Reason why I prefer natural fiber over synthetic fiber is the hold of the bristles, right? How much paint the bristles can hold, and also when you're into fine glazing and stuff like that, natural hairs hang onto the paint better, especially when you're drawing, right? Like when you're moving paint and you're drawing out an area or whatever, it just runs a lot better. In my experience, I have no reason to believe that these synthetic fibers are any different than any other synthetic fibers that I've played with from other various companies. I think they're all pretty much the same. It's not until we get to a point of, proper nanotechnology that the synthetic fiber properly competes with a natural hair, right? Again, I've talked about this in the past, where basically if you look under an electron microscope of the fiber of a hair versus the fiber of nylon or whatever the synthetic fiber is, they're not the same. Natural hair almost looks like a pine cone, and it's got this scale like work running up, and the paint molecules adhere to that, and it orders them, and it just boop, 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 and they're all just sitting there as you'd imagine. And when you run the brush, it evacuates all that paint, right? Synthetics, in my experience, especially when glazing, as soon as you make contact with the surface, it immediately evacuates a lot of the paint out of the fibers, and the fiber structure itself is not orderly. It's actually quite chaotic. It looks like if you took a bunch of branches and just bundled them together. It's very disorderly, and it's as far as the paint molecules, they're sitting in uneven clumps, as it were. Now, this is a visualization of the process going on. This is not, I'm not sure if that's ever been properly looked at, of taking a brush, moving it along the surface, and seeing how the paint moves out of bristles onto a surface, right? Because also the surface of what is being painted matters as well, because if it's a hard glass surface, the paint isn't really going to draw out, versus if it's paper. If it's paper, it's going to suck that paint out, right? And when you overprime a model, the surface can act like paper. So if you're trying to glaze something and you've overprimed the model, the paint just goes and it just sucks right into the model surface and does not change the overall value, because there actually is quite a bit of distance in that surface if you've overprimed. Like paper, it's like a sponge, and it'll just absorb all that paint. especially if you're trying to work with it in a thinned out fashion. It just becomes very problematic. So, yeah. But as far as the synthetic brushes, yes, GW should have been making synthetic brushes a long time ago, because a lot of the products that GW creates are, more geared towards entry level. Not to say that it's all for noobs. It's just, there's a bigger market there. It's a market decision. Games Workshop used to, under old leadership, go for the exclusivity of products, and now they've changed that operating procedure to make it inclusive to everybody, and just have the largest consumer base, which only makes sense as a business standpoint. It only makes sense to do that. Where the hell am I? Help up. Gotta be. Oh no, I already read that one. Reinvent Mall. Go back, Kris. I was distracted in chatting to some of your subs. What? You go back. Ghost of Starman Deluxe. Out of place bases can work sometimes. Example, Ideneth bring the magic tide with them, and Age of Sigmar ogres are followed by blizzards, if I recall. Sure, but Age of Sigmar is crazy made up crap anyway, right? Whereas Infinity is kind of like grounded in a future world, so there's a bit of realism there. Whereas Age of Sigmar, we automatically will forgive visual inconsistencies and crazy crap going on, right? Because you already have flying fish flying around in an ether sea, which is there and not there. Okay, great. Well, whatever. We got water flying all over the place, but it's there, but it's not there. Okay, sure. I'm on for the ride. I'm along for the ride. There, not there. Got it. Perfect. Not a big thing. But Infinity, it's like it's a future world. And so, if you had water flying by that was there, not there, well, what the fuck is that about, right? So, again, it's just playing within the themes of the universe. And so, which is why I've become more and more a fan of the aesthetics of Age of Sigmar, just because it's so open. It is so open. Finlay, yellow ochre. Yes, yellow ochre. Thank you. Yes, that's the color I would use. Yeah, yellow ochre. Hailbop, kind of like Hero Quest, but your allied commando searching a secret German lab where there's zombies and alien tech. Ooh, that sounds fun. Oh, that's that game you're talking about. Okay, yeah. Reichbusters, right? Gotcha. Jeffers, is there a significant difference between Synthetic and Sable then? Sorry, a bit of an amateur when it comes to this. No, don't apologize. Ask. I encourage everybody, and you're not the only person who's asking that question. Guaranteed. Is there a significant difference between Synthetic and Sable? It depends. As your mastery over the materials increases, and you become, your experience, right? And as you get into more nuanced type of painting, laying down smooth base coats, layered highlights, glazing, right? These kinds of things, you will spot a difference. If you're, relatively new to the hobby and you're base coating and you're just grabbing the paint right out of the pot and applying it to the model surface, using a Sable or synthetic haired brush is going to leave no discernible difference to your mind to how it's applying it. I'm sure minutely there is a difference, but no, if you're just taking that paint and you're slapping it onto the model. And the reason why I say that the synthetics are better for newer people is because they do not take care of their brushes. Newer people are not in the habit of taking care of their brushes. You're going to drop $30 on a detail brush that's going to last you 1 or 2 sessions, and it's going to be all fucked up. The hair is going to curl, splayed out all over the place. Who knows? And you wasted $30 versus buying the $6 synthetic, which is, still going to dot an I, right? Still going to get a fine line. It's just when you start getting into thinner and thinner concentrations of paint, that's when you really start to notice it. It's when you're into the nuanced type of stuff of painting, right? That's it. That's really the only difference, is when you're really getting into your painting and you're creating smooth blends and transitions and stuff like that. That's when you want natural haired brushes. They just tend to hold onto the paint a lot better as opposed to synthetics, in my experience. But as far as brand new people, honestly, they should be using just synthetics, because they're going to trash their brushes, and especially for those of limited resources, you know, it just makes sense. It just makes sense. And like I said, I'm shocked that GW has not put out a line of synthetics since they last redid the paint line, right? It really seems like that's what they should have done. I suspect they'll keep both products available because, yeah, they want to have something entry level, but also something to keep people around who want to progress and become more effective painters. And so they'll keep the Sable lines around. But mind you, there's the whole thing about Sable right now, well, for a while, you know, so, yeah. Ghost of Starman, kind of surprised they didn't send you new brushes to test out, to be honest. I didn't really think anything of it. They're synthetics. I mean, it is not a mystery to know my opinion on synthetics. I typically am a bit of a snob towards synthetics, but mind you, I've been playing with the Tamiya paints lately, and I wouldn't have been able to do it if I could have done it, but I have a whole bunch of synthetic brushes, and I've been using synthetics because the alcohol based paint that Tamiya acrylics are, I rinse with alcohol, a little bit of iso alcohol, and I just give them a quick little rinse, and, you know, cleans the brush, and they're fine, and they're synthetic, and they're cheap enough that if I do ruin the brush, I'm not too worried about it. Just chuck it and, you know, grab another brush. I have a whole bunch of Army Painter brushes that are all synthetics. I know Army Painter does have Sable hair brushes, and realistically, they should try to make that distinction that newer people, push them towards synthetic brushes, because to get them to spend a lot of money on natural brushes and then they're going to ruin them the first time they use them, they're just going to get pissed off. The people are just going to get pissed off. They're not going to enjoy the hobby, and they're going to come away with negativity. Versus giving them brushes that you know they're going to trash, offer them at an affordable price point, knowing that they're going to buy more of them because they're going to trash them, but they don't feel bad about it, right? Versus spending $30 on a brush that you end up trashing, you know, first or second session of painting, right? Why? Because nobody pushes the taking care of the brush. I mean, I might be one of the few people on this planet who actively encourages you to take care of your equipment. Take care of your brushes is the mantra, but the overall intent is that you should take care of your equipment. Take care of your tools, no matter what they are. Your paints, your brushes, your airbrush, your workstation, your chair, your lights, all of it. Take care of it all, right? Be more mindful. But anyway. Dark Commission. I'd never pay even close to that for synthetics. Well, no, it should be no surprise. Should be no surprise. Citadel's going to have those at Citadel prices. But yes, if you are brand new to this hobby, you do not know that you can just simply walk into an art supply joint and pick up synthetic brushes that are probably just over half the cost, right? So, live and learn really is what it is. And education costs. Costs money to be educated. Disco Duke. I've about 4 Blood Bowl teams to paint, plus a regular pile of shame. I'm considering painting the dwarf team as animated stone, as it's quick to do. Would you do this or paint properly with more care? Well, to paint them like stone, it doesn't imply that it's just going to be rather fast. It all depends on how much care you want to put into painting them to look like stone. Because you can take your time and do it really well, and it'll look awesome, or you can do it really quickly and just get them done, which just is awesome. But again, like, what is your goal? Is this just to get them done? Then yeah, paint them up quickly like stone. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I would definitely look at other examples of, like in video games or in art or what have you, of characters who are painted to look like stone, and I would try and emulate that. Would they all look like the same stone? Or are they varying different stones? Is there marbling in the stone? Is there, what I mean? Like, what is your idea here, right? You don't have to answer that. I'm just, just helping you, trying to, get your brain running. But as far as painting them like stone, no, go right ahead. Little golems running around. I sure as shit would not want to face little dwarf golems. Would that be an oxymoron? Like a dwarf golem? I don't even know. That might be an oxymoron. I don't know. A dwarf golem. A golem dwarf? Might have slipped a groove there. Dark Emission, episode 346, the evacuation physics of controllable paint dispension units. Jesus. Yeah, I would love to see somebody do an extreme macro of, similar amounts of paint in synthetic and natural hairs across surfaces to see how much draw you actually get. Because for me, I've always found that when working with really thin paint with sable hair brushes, yeah, I can draw. It's like a pen. I can draw just for a while doing it. Versus synthetics, I've always had the problem, as soon as I made contact, the paint evacuates out of the bristles. And that's always annoyed me. And that's why a lot of times I don't like synthetics. It's a personal choice. It's when I'm into more nuanced type of painting. But if I'm just simply taking the paint and slapping it onto the surface and I'm not thinning it or anything like that, I'm just smacking it on there, yeah, synthetics are fine. Synthetics will do the job. Your finger will do the job, right? So, something to consider. Reinvented Modeler. The stiffy waxed and 1 foot long lyric comes from David Bowie Rubber Band song. Have a listen later, Kris. I dedicate it to you. Are you on our Discord? Just post it in our music channel. I'll give it a listen. Because we have a channel in the Discord for, it's just sharing, music, ideas of music, what we like, Coma. I only use sable unless it's enamel, oils, or other solvent-based paint, but I only like to paint with high-quality sable. Sure. I mean, Citadel, they say it's sable, but it's more of a sable blend. But I mean, like, I paint in oils, and I use hog hair brushes, because I like the stiffness. I like to work with my oil paints in a thick fashion, and hog hair just moves the paint around. Preference. It's the right tool for the right job. It's like having a micro lathe, and you have this big ass cylinder, and your lathe is only yay big. I mean, it's not the right tool. You can do it, sure, but it's not the right tool for the job. And so being only just sable, it doesn't make a lot of sense. It doesn't make a lot of sense. All the tools available for all sorts of jobs. You just find the right tool for the right job. Simple as that. It's not a preference. I only paint with sable. Oh, I only paint with sable. It's kind of an antiquated exclusivity. Doesn't need to be there. And it doesn't help your own growth as a painter to adopt a mindset like that, to be exclusive to a particular paint or product, right? So it doesn't really make a lot of sense. Jeffers, I agree. Age of Sigmar is smashing it at the moment, just smashing it. I feel 40k is very stale in creativity, even after the relaunch 8th and 9th. I don't think the Primaris has helped this the odd model or two for Xenon races. Yeah. I like 8th and 9th edition Warhammer 40k. I like the streamlined approach that they've taken. Yes, it is a very dumbed down, but 40k since Rogue Trader has been a dumbing down of rules pretty steadily anyway. So, does the game really need to be that complex to be fun? I don't think so, especially at the scale at which a lot of 40k is played at, right? Most people, talk 1,500 point game. Ooh, it's kind of small, ain't it? Let's play 1850. Split the difference. No, let's go 2,000. Everybody's 2,000 point game, right? 2,000 point game. Get a good sized army on the table. That's quite a bit. It's quite a bit. And if you had to play like first or second edition rules with the current size of a 2,000 point army, man, you're talking about all day. That's almost like an apocalypse game back in the day. Playing 2,000 points, like what currently is 2,000 points as opposed to 2,000 points back in the day. 2,000 or 1,500 points. I had played a game of second edition a couple of years ago with Luca, and my Eldar army, 1,500 points I believe is what we played, fit in my hand. 1,500 points of Eldar fit in my hand, and that should give you an idea. Jabba's Nut, what's your opinion on the price of the new brushes? I missed a bit. My opinion on the price of the new brushes, they're a little bit steep, but I think the natural hair brushes went up quite a bit, because I don't remember those brushes being that much. I remember them being like close to the $20 range for an artificial brush. Now it's like 30, at least 30 Canadian. I don't know what if it's equivalent across the globe, but yeah. And the synthetics, they're a little bit pricey, but GW going to do GW things. I mean, can't blame them for needing to make a buck, especially given the last year. So, personally, to recap, I think synthetics should have been out since they last changed their paints, when they reinvented the paint line. But anyway, Finlay, take care of your equipment, check your balls. Yeah, definitely, you should always give your balls a tug. Give your nuts a tug. Anyway, Disco Duke, I never considered different stones for the same team. Yeah, gonna try gray stone for them all. Was wondering how to differentiate the different positions. I could do granite, slayer, marble, lineman, etc. Yes, definitely. Oh yeah, play within the theme. Yeah, like shit, man. Like, oh man, here's an idea, and you're probably gonna start looking up how to do it. But Disco, what about if you made them look like, if you wanted to have them all look the same, why not make them look like the Terracotta Warriors? The terracotta statues they found, I can't remember what dynasty in China it was, but it's a whole bunch of soldiers, and they're all made of terracotta. What if you made a whole team look like they were the Terracotta Warriors? I think that would look cool. Wouldn't that look cool? If you do it, send me a pic. But yeah, why not? If you wanted to go with one whole theme across the whole gang, the whole army, why not make them all look like the Terracotta Warriors? And do the bases to look like grass, like a Blood Bowl field, but the warriors themselves are little stone duders. Little stone duders? I don't know. I'm just saying, right? The B-Man just woke up. Start over. Fuck off. Jeffers, needing to make a buck. Their current profit projection this year compared to last year is up roughly 30%. Saw the report on several sites. Yeah. They're a business. They're not a charity. They're looking to make $1. First and foremost. How can they make $1? Well, they're going to charge a little bit more for this, a little bit more for that. And also, too, I don't know if they produce the brushes they make. By the sounds of it, they bottle their paints, but I don't know if they just show up in big vats and they just bottle it themselves, or if they make the big vats of paint. I have no idea about that. When I got the opportunity to visit Games Workshop, I wanted a tour of the full facility. I was denied that because they said, Kris, you're a big mouth and you probably spill the beans on the whole op. No, they didn't say that. They were really great. Kris, you got a big fat mouth, and no, you're gonna say something. So no, we're not doing it. Yeah, they're supposed to be doing the live stream right now, aren't they? Yeah, let's check in. You know what? Let's check in since we got a quiet moment here. I don't know. They're talking. It's Adam and Eddie. It's Adam and Eddie. Can I not click this fucking window? Like, what's going on here? How come I can't click change volume? Oh, there we go.
By the things that the High Lords of Terra have done.
Hold on.
This animation series promises to be something a little.
Oh, right. We're talking about animation.
Warhammer fans would expect, because it's going to focus on some of that intrigue and collusion that takes place.
Oh, collusion. We're talking collusion now.
Palace amongst the absolute ruling elite. These aren't the people who make the decisions that influence the lives of frontline soldiers so much as the entire
scared the shit out of me.
Fate of the galaxy.
Thank you, Van Darkholm. Darkholm.
To see the levels of corruption and backstabbing and betrayal, and hopefully some honor and decency.
What did I miss? Has anybody been watching this since the beginning? What did I miss?
Series will bring.
I'm gonna talk over these guys while they're trying to give their presentation, but yeah, I don't know what they're talking about. I'm kind of zoning. My eyes are glazing over, and I'm kind of like, what? Just bring on the cartoons. Where's the cartoons, for God's sakes? Where are the cartoons? Hail Bop. They don't want Kris to know about the wizard man in the back who makes everything with magic. The factory is a cover. Yeah, could be. It could very well be. I have no idea. I wanted the tour, and they wouldn't give it to me. They said, no, Kris, you got a big mouth. We're not doing it because, you got a big mouth. We'll come back to the stream there in a sec. Mainly because I don't know what they're talking about right now, and I'm just gonna end up being an asshole and making jokes about what they're talking about or whatever. So I don't really feel like doing that. I don't really feel like being an asshole. I at times can switch it on and off. Excuse me. Oh, we got something going on.
Armor yourselves.
Oh.
We ride to glory. We write a new history this day.
That's it? Oh.
Broken Lance is a title that works on a number of levels. I quite enjoyed you getting excited about this one. Eddie, give us your insight on this one.
So, Broken Lance obviously refers to something knightly, so the concept of the weapon, the lance that's been broken. The lance is also the name of the comic.
I have a cousin with that same name, and he was kind of broken. So it doesn't have to be just to conjure up the imagery of a weapon. It could also be a person who was broken. Where the hell was I? Disco Duke. Apparently all Terracotta Warriors have different faces. Not sure if that's true or an internet lie, but I'm going to believe the former. It doesn't matter if they have different faces or not. They're all made of terracotta. They all look the same. So why not just go for that similar color palette and, create the impression of they're made of like a dried clay with that slight dusting on them. That's the overall. It's the look, not the actual statues. Just look at the color of what's on the statues. What colors are present? How does it look? Oh. Hammer and Buddha. That's it?
So we've already talked about Hammer and Bolt a fair amount.
Is that it?
Warhammer.
I thought we were going to get some fucking actual animations here. Adam and Eddie are pissing me off. I know it's not their fault. These fucking guys are pissing me off. Yeah, exactly. Ghost, thank you. Episode 346. Bring on the cartoon. You know what? That is the name of the show today. Bring on the cartoons, for God's sakes, man. Quit teasing me. Like we don't have to keep. We don't have to keep with the edging. We can go for full penetration. Everybody's like, what? We don't have to edge for hours here. We can, just put the tip in. We can try it out, right? We can just try it out. Just the tip. Jeffers, it is clearly they have some sassy nerdlings cleaning up, and you would free them from GWHQ. Hence why they didn't show you the full production facility. Maybe. I'm thinking, I'm thinking that's what it was. Because they probably knew that I would blend in to the materials, and they'd lose me, and they'd be like, "Where did he go? I don't know. What is he doing? I don't know. He disappeared." And the infiltration would be complete, and kind of like a Calidus assassin, I would assume the identity of another employee, and they'd be like, "Hey James, how are you today?" And I'd be like, "I am fine. How are you?" And the gig would be up. The infiltration of Games Workshop. That'd actually be kind of funny. Come to think of it. Oh, here we go. Ooh, Astartes. Here we go. Astartes. Fuck you. Are you fucking serious,
I
guys?
think it's fair to say that Astartes needs no introduction. An incredibly well-received
Boys!
with an enormous following, and I am just one of many when I say that I'm excited.
Yeah, enormous following who's dying to see what the fuck is next. Are you fucking kidding me? Boys! Getting kind of annoyed now. They're supposed to be previewing shit. They haven't previewed shit. They're just talking about title cards. And I'm sure in their chat, it's probably toxic as fuck right now too, probably because everybody's, "Where is Curse City? Where is Curse City?" I'm so sick of fucking hearing that one. Fuck sakes. Anyway. You guys are making me swear, for God's sakes, man. Stop it. The B-Man. Bretonia? Oh, the Broken Lance? Yeah, maybe. Could be. Oh, we got another preview. Hold on.
Some more blood.
If it's a... You mother... They're not showing shit. Yeah, this...
Apparently, I went missing. I'm still here.
Their
Thanks for
chat
being with us. So,
has got to be the
Terracotta
most toxic thing on the
is
planet right
another
now.
example of how we're able to tell very different stories with our...
You know what? I'm excited for all this animation and shit that they're doing. And like people who were like making like the Exodite short, Astartes, right? Buddy who did the Hell's Reach, and then he put up that short film, and then he's supposed to be doing that Blood Angel thing. You know what? Like, fantastic. I'm glad Games Workshop is out there and doing more mass media type stuff, and like getting out there into the popular media, right? Totally, 100%. I'm behind that. But when you're talking about fucking a preview reveal weekend thing, and all you're showing is title fucking cards, I'm sure that chat right now is toxic as fuck right now. It's probably not. It's probably, "Where's Cursini? Where's Cursini? Where's Cursini? Where's Cursini?" How come you won't talk about Cursini? Exodite.
The only path to understanding is to suffer.
This is one I was excited for. Fuck! Are you fucking serious, boys?
Well, there we are. So Exodite needed very little introduction. Bearing in mind we've seen this.
Yeah, little introduction, little fucking reveal, as well as get fucking boys. Oh, I'm disappointed. I mean, Exodite, I was looking forward to that. I was following the progress on that one. Looked really interesting. I loved how in that trailer, that first couple trailers they did how they gave the Tau voiceover. It almost felt like a real language. When they're talking, it almost sounds like Klingon, but whatever, right? And yeah, I really, really dug what they were hinting at, and I was looking forward to their release date. And then, of course, the word came out that Games Workshop must have contacted them and said, "Hey, would you like to, be part of this and that?" And throw some money at them, right? I assume that's what's happened, is they threw money at them. Unfortunately, unfortunately, what ends up happening, and you see this in movies all the time, is that when somebody throws a bunch of money at you, they feel like they have creative control over the process. And that ends up fucking things up, right? It becomes a situation of too many cooks in the kitchen. If they really believe in what these creators are creating, throw money at them so that they can do more of it faster and stay the fuck out of their way. That's all you got to do, right? Leave the art to the artists. If you want to support them, throw money at them, right? But you don't get creative fucking license over what it is. Now, mind you, they are making something based on GW's IP,
You shall
so...
not die alone. I will be there. I will watch the light fade from your eyes.
The ongoing narrative of Warhammer 40,000 shows...
Okay. Exciting. Necron voice, thing. Okay, I'm feeling it. It'd have been nice to get a preview shot of something, like what kind of style of animation, what kind of story were we getting? Because it looks like when they were previewing a lot of this stuff, that there was different styles, right? We had computer animated, we had 2D animation, like we had, various styles. Like, get us pumped up about what kind of stuff we're getting, right? Because the thing is that they could easily ride the coattails of something really, really popular like Love, Death, Robots, where it's an anthology series and it's a various animation styles telling various stories, and they're not connected at all. And these Warhammer 40,000 or these stories from Games Workshop, they don't have to be connected in any fashion or form, and can just be one-off stories and just be an anthology. And hell, I mean, maybe that's even what they're doing. Maybe they're trying to shop this around to Netflix and Prime and what have yous. But holy shit, it's a preview animation online. I have not seen any animation previewed. I've only seen title fucking cards. That's not a preview. Anyway. I'm getting angry. That's what's happening. I'm getting fucking angry. I'm getting really fucking worked up. My nerd rage is at a boil right now. My nerd rage is at full boil. I'm at full boil. Oh, man. Where the hell am I? Ghost of Starman. Broken Lance was Imperial Knights, I think. Pretty sure there was a faceplate on the thumbnail. Was there? I didn't even notice. Oh. Angels of Death. Okay, here. Yeah, this is the one by...
Blast that thing from the void!
Oh, for fuck's sakes.
So there's a reason we saved this one to last, which is in a moment we're going to...
Saved what? A title card?
First 7...
Boys! Oh, disappointing. That's disappointing. Yeah, I'm imagining that chat is probably toxic AF. Guaranteed toxic as fuck. Now, mind you, I missed the beginning of this whole presentation. Maybe they did show some shit. I don't know. And they're just going back to the title cards. I don't know. But if it was all their preview is just a bunch of title cards saying, yeah, this is coming. Yeah, this is coming. Okay, great. But why did it need to be hyped up to this level? Right? Oh, man. It's just, Ghost of Starman. Yeah, the chat is horrendous. Don't see any Curse City spam though. No? Oh, man. The last couple streams I watched on Warhammer TV, man, the fucking nerds would not shut up about Curse City. Why won't you address Curse City? What about Curse City? Like, holy fuck! Oh, what's this? Warhammer Plus. Oi. Okay, here we go. We got something? Yeah. This is that Angel of Death. I like the style he chose for this. This black and white with the splash of red.
We are the Emperor's will made flesh.
Oh, that's... Ah! Oh, I thought he was going to drop an F-bomb. Guess I'll have to smash him with it. That's what he's thinking. No. Oh, he's missing an arm. Damn.
Dust. We shed our weaknesses, our frailty.
Oh. He's got a lightsaber. Oh, man. That's fucked. That's awesome.
Angels.
Yeah, this one I'm excited for this, but this one's been announced like ages ago. Huh. That's fun. I like the art style that he's going with this one. It's a bit Sin City, but with more red. Yeah, this one looks fun. I'm looking forward to this one. I'm looking forward to all of them, really. But yeah. Oh, we got more. Sweet. Sweet. He seems impatient. Oh, it's the red thirst? Is that what's going on? He's tripping balls. He's tripping balls. Oh, fuck, I shouldn't have had that mushroom earlier. Gotta talk to the captain. Oh, I fucked up. Oh, I'm seeing shit. Tripping balls. I need to take some downers. Oh, is that supposed to be horse? Is that what it is? Oh, that's cool. Oh. Oh, it's a nosebleed. Well, you gotta quit doing coke. Wouldn't have that problem, bud. Checking the time. Yeah, it's beer o'clock.
In blood I am born. In battle do I live. In light do I rise. In darkness do I fall.
In blood will we be renewed.
Honored Chaplain Raphael.
We are brothers before any other rank.
Is there something you wish of me?
Only to speak to a friend.
I have duties to attend.
Duties beyond this voluntary solitude.
There is nothing I would speak of, Chaplain. I will patrol the lower decks.
I was there to see you succeed in the trials. I watched as you became an angel in both heart and deed. Yet now I look upon a brother that would rather see me a stranger.
Oh, I'm getting into this now.
We were lost in the storms and are now trapped over this blighted world, kept from returning to blessed Val. Do you not chafe at this inaction?
Did your service to the Death Watch make you nothing but a weapon, Kazarian? Can you no longer find peace, even here?
What more is a space marine than a sword against the dark? The galaxy burns. We face annihilation.
You're talking to a chaplain there.
Any more words?
That threat has always been, since mankind first dragged itself from the surface of Terra. But it is a threat we face together.
As you say.
Yeah, you gotta watch how you talk to a guy with glowing eyeballs. He's gonna smack you down with his Crozius. Yeah, this one, I'm excited for this series. If it's a series or if it's just a short story, I have no idea, but yeah, this one looks fun. Oh shit. Man, are we getting the first episode? Is that what's going on here? Sweet. Yeah, We just basically became a watch party. Looks like classic banners. That's cool. That scores extra points.
Summarize.
We still cannot reach Captain Orfield or his retinue ship.
I can't hear you with that thing on your
Signal
mouth.
distortion continues to increase within the planet's atmosphere. We were informed that the city at the base of the orbital tower is supposed to be deserted. There is nothing down there, at least nothing to delay the captain.
Open a vault link to the orbital dock.
Yes, ship mistress.
Shit, mistress.
Link established.
This is Captain Salkin of the Blood Angel strike cruiser Sword of Bar. Respond.
July. Cool. I look forward to it.
Then we have the first scene.
Okay, boys, I take back everything I said about you.
Angels of Death. You were pretty awesome.
I apologize to Adam and Eddie. There, that was a proper preview. Yeah. Looks fun. It looks like the feed froze. Yeah, I dig it. I like the art style of that one. I'm pretty sure that is Buddy who did the Hell's Reach. He took like the audiobook and made the animation to it. And yeah. Really, really sweet stuff there. Sorry, I'm just going to keep the audio going. Yeah, I love that whole opening with the Terminator and he's getting swarmed by gene stealers. That looked fucking awesome. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. The whole bunch of them I'm looking forward to. Like they all look like fun. At least what we saw, before. Today's preview, I mean, that was the first time we've seen anything. I mean, I don't think they need to play the whole episode, but they could have just give us, a fresh trailer, so to speak, but it'd have been very cool. Anyway, Job's left nut. Kris, thinking about your blood pressure, your nerd rage will end you one day. Yeah, probably. Probably. Hey, Bob, when does Kris turn green and smash his computer? I know, I'm fucking, the nerd rage was just boiling. It was just boiling. And yeah, but now that satiated my nerd rage. So I'm okay now. I'm like a typical abuser. I do apologize now to the boys for my outbursts and my unseemly conduct. So yeah, to Adam and Eddie. They'll never see this, but I do apologize. Hey, Bob, they don't need to stream title cards. They could have put out a community post. Yeah, exactly, right? I mean, if they wanted to throw out these little title cards, they could have just put it all together, said, here's what's coming, bang, bang, and look forward to this, bang, and give us maybe some release dates. You know what I mean? Like when these projects are projected to be released, right? I mean, But now that I know that July we're gonna get this first episode, fuck yeah, I'm excited. I'll stream the shit out of it. Just stream the shit out of it. Like like a tube of toothpaste, just from one end to the other, and I'll just squeeze that for every millimeter it's worth. Dark Commission, I'm so glad I have no interest in 40K in general, apart from my happy wallet. I have no continual nerd disappointment to contend with. I think we all have, at least anybody who's listened to me, we all have something in common. We all have nerd-like interests in things, be it Warhammer or other. And yeah, 40K, having that as a disability, I guess. I don't know. I wonder if we can get nerd rage diagnosed, for like health insurance purposes. I suffer from nerd rage. It's a very real condition where I inexplicably lose my shit over the stupidest shit possible. Can I go on medical leave? Can I? I don't know, but yeah. Hail Bob, he needs to see a doctor. His arm's gone. Yeah, exactly, right? Holy shit. New Space Hulk? No, that was Angels of Death. It's a short coming out. I don't know how long these things are. I'm sure they're probably telling us, but I'm talking to you guys, and again, I feel bad about my response to most of this presentation. I feel bad now. I feel bad because I was dropping some curse words and using uncouth language, and I do apologize. So, sort of. Not really. I mean, anybody who knows me knows that I'm not really apologizing. I'm just trying to be nice. Guillermo GL. Give in to your anger, Kris. Kris is strong in the dark side. True. I do flip off the handle pretty easily. Anybody who knows me knows that is true as well. Hail Bob. Is it me, or are the mouths not synced with the words? For the guys on the stream, or for the show? Like the animation that they showed? I have no idea. I wasn't paying attention. It wasn't something I noticed. But yeah. I don't know. They're talking about like the stills from the thing there. Now they have something to talk about, right? Because now they actually showed us something, right? Not just a bunch of title cards saying, "Oh, here's what's coming." Great. When's it coming? What's it look like? What's some preview images of what the animation style like? Get get us properly fired up here. I mean, when you jump into bed, there's some foreplay, to get the juices flowing, right? Well, that's what previews are. It's foreplay. Like, come on, like wine us and dine us. Let's fucking, let's get some nipple play happening, and you know what I mean. Like, let's get the old juices flowing here. Oh, we got another thing going on, or I don't know. Title card now saying, "Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back." Like right back, and they're back. Oh, there we go. So yeah, I'm not really catching what they're talking about. Just because I'm talking to you guys. I'm only interested in the previews, and I missed the first 10-15 minutes. I didn't see any animations, but oh, here we go. Oh, they're showing a whole lineup here.
We saw a good look there at Angels of Death, and at the end of the Angels of Death trailer, extract, there was the date July 2021, which isn't very far off at all. It's May already, so you don't have to wait very long before you can sink your teeth into a much chunkier piece of Angels of Death. And for those of you wanting to find out more about all of these things, we will have more for you in June as well. So next month we'll have even more information about all these things.
Angels of Death I'm excited for. Exodite I'm excited for. Starties I'm excited for. I don't know what Altar of Wrath is, but yeah.
Now, Warhammer Plus, it is fair to say, is going to be the way that we are able to consume all this amazing animated content that is on the way. It's going to be a lot more besides. Now, we're going to keep these cards close to our chest. I can imagine the chat at this point will cry outrage that they would like to know everything right away. 23rd of June is when we're going to do a full unveil for everything you can expect for Warhammer Plus. What I can say as a lifelong Warhammer nerd, and as somebody who's been...
Warhammer Plus, no, is this like a streaming service they're going to do?
Absolutely brilliant. Game-changingly exciting. And the animation that is on it is the tip of the Warhammer Plus iceberg.
The tip.
Yeah, the animation that's coming is going to be very cool, and probably, if you're a fan of the animation, it will be worth it alone, but there is so much more to Warhammer Plus than that. It's very, very cool. There's loads of stuff coming.
Okay, well, interesting. Interesting. Warhammer Plus.
Perhaps the end of this preview, it has been, for my money, absolutely fantastic to sit here with you, Eddie, to get excited about
his money.
The animation that's on its way, to talk about the announcement
so far. So Warhammer Plus, was that what this vehicle is all about? Was this whole vehicle that they want to roll out? Was that really the whole point of having all these studios create animations and create this Warhammer Plus? If it's like a streaming thing, I don't know. When they use the word plus, it sounds like it's emulating like a Disney Plus type thing, right? Of course, it might not even be that. I have no idea. But yeah. Again, I'm not really catching what they're talking about. Yeah. Streaming service. I don't know. I don't know if it's a streaming service. They said they'll do a reveal soon enough. So yeah. Job is left not. At least you got your happy ending at the end of the presentation. Was it a happy? It was nice. It was a good finisher. Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's some release. There was a release at the end. Definitely, 100% Job is left nut. There was a release. There was a happy ending, ish. It took us a while. It was unpleasant at the beginning, and having that release at the end, could it have been built up better for the release so that we had some sort of, joy at the end of it? Would have been a little bit better, I think. It's a bit more. It wasn't quite. It was like there was a little too much teeth. There was a little too much teeth getting there, and everybody knows using too much teeth is no good. It's just it's kind of unpleasant, especially like teeth with braces, right? So we got another thing. Oh no, they're done. They're done with their preview. Hopefully they don't watch my shit. Hopefully, because I was being a complete asshole that entire time. So hopefully they don't watch my shit. But anyway, yeah. So anybody who knows what I'm talking about as far as too much teeth, that's what happened. So yeah, there was an ending and there was a payoff, but a whole lot of teeth was involved getting us there. And so really, was it a pleasurable experience? Again, I'm trying to use this metaphor, but I can't. I don't want to. I'm trying to be clever about it, but I don't think I'm being clever at all. Ghost of Starman. Note the vast majority are 40K. Yeah. I mean, because I think maybe because the Age of Sigmar stuff is not quite codified as the Warhammer 40,000 stuff is. The Warhammer 40,000 is very well established in its lore, right? To the point where, like last week, remember I was talking about how let's just do away with Warhammer and give us the new iteration of it? Maybe we can't. Maybe we can't get there yet because of this cement shoes we're wearing of the lore, right? We're all wearing cement shoes. If we're intractable in the amount of lore that has already been established, right? Maybe that's where we're at. Maybe they can't. Maybe they figure they just can't, reboot it, as it were. I don't know, but I assume Warhammer Fantasy had just as much built up around it as Warhammer 40,000 did when they kicked it to the curb, right? I don't know. Again, I was not that heavy into Warhammer Fantasy, so that's why I was never, part of the outrage that, happened when they switched gears. And yeah, so I have no idea. I was going to say I'm talking on my ass, but I'm always talking on my ass. Hailbot streaming service? Yeah, Warhammer Plus. That's what it sounds like, right? When you throw the plus at the end of it, it sounds like, it's like Apple Plus and Disney Plus and blah, blah, blah. Plus. Throw a plus on the end of it and, it's trendy, right? Whatever. Aaron Siege. Kris is going to go smoke a cigarette now after that release. I don't know if that was post-coital cigarette worthy, but anyway. Coma, Warhammer Plus, for the connoisseur of the hobby that want to pay a bit extra for our figs. Be one of those today. GW's new pitch. For everybody who wants to pay a little bit more. Yeah. Why not just be upfront about it, right? Warhammer, it's for everyone. Warhammer Plus is for those who want to spend a little bit more. Right? Jabba's left nut. I wanted to see more about the new Age of Sigmar faction, the Gapers. Where was that animation? A whole faction that just looks like the Sarlacc pit from Return of the Jedi. That's gaping. Oh my god. Don't fall in. You'll be slowly digested over 1,000 years. You know what? Really, realistically, to switch gears here for a sec, the Sarlacc pit, was that the front of the monster or was that the back of the monster? Because like worms, they have like the two ends. The Sarlacc pit, was that the front of the monster or was that the back of the monster? Couldn't say, could we? we have to know now. Ghost of Starman. In terms of piracy, I couldn't possibly comment. And piracy? Privacy or piracy? Is piracy similar to privacy? Aaron Siege. Sarlacc is clearly an asshole with teeth. Clearly. It's clearly the asshole of the creature, right? Ghost of Starman. I don't think many creatures have tooth-lined assholes. Well, we don't know that for sure. And also, it's Star Wars, so anything goes. It's a galaxy far, far away. You don't know. Everybody in Star Wars could have teeth in their assholes. That could be just the telltale trait that you're in a different universe. Is that everybody has teeth in their assholes? You don't know. Han Solo could have been running around, and that's how come nobody flies out of their seat when they're doing crazy ass maneuvers. It's because they got teeth in their assholes. They're hanging onto their chairs as they fly around, right? Because you don't see anybody flying around, you don't see anybody floating around. It's because they got teeth in their assholes, hanging onto their chairs. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. I'm afraid I'm going to need confirmation of any Star Wars character who is not depicted with teeth in their asshole. I'm afraid I'm going to require proof on that. Somebody out there who's really artistically inclined is drawing Greedo, and he's got teeth in his asshole. He's bent over and he's giving us a full spready. Oh shit. Oh man. Job was living that. Maybe the plus is their equivalent to OnlyFans. Yeah, maybe Warhammer Plus is for all the content creators, and it's it's for like an OnlyFans. Holy shit. We are treading some dangerous water here. Lupus Angelius. The visual is so bad. Jeffers in an asshole far, far away. How do you know? How do you know everybody in the Star Wars universe doesn't have teeth in their assholes? They have, like, mouths. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Ghost of Starman Deluxe. So if I ever think I've warped to another universe, I should check. I should look at someone's asshole. Got it. Yeah, well, come on. I mean, like, stop and think, man. Like, when you put people in prisons, they check, right? What do they check? They say they're checking for drugs and contraband. Yeah, right. They're really checking to see if they're from another universe because they're checking for teeth in their asshole. That's what they're checking for. Again, prove me wrong. No. Shit. Aaron Siege. I mean, you don't see shoulder straps in any of the spaceships either. Just saying. Yeah, exactly, right? Like, you know, they don't really describe how anti-gravity works. You know, they don't describe that kind of shit. Like, who's got anti-gravity? Because, I mean, like, everything's got anti-gravity. So, like, an X-Wing, the small little one-man craft, has anti-gravity, even though you don't stand up in the son bitch, right? You know, you don't really see people strapped in or strapped on. And, yeah. But when they're doing crazy-ass maneuvers, you know, there's no, like, shift in momentum or anything like that, in space anyway. So, yeah, they must have teeth in their assholes gripping onto their chairs and keeping them in place. That would be kind of exhausting, really, if you think about it, right? To be clenched up like that. You assume you clench up if you have teeth in your ass. I would assume. I don't know. I'm making assumptions now. I'm making assumptions about the anatomy of actually having teeth in your asshole. It's a strange world. We've truly crossed over into a terrifying universe. Dark Commission. Well, assholes do tend to bite back the morning after a good curry. I don't consume a lot of curry, so I'm afraid that's outside my experience. So I'll take your word for it, bud. B-Man, whenever I lift a steel from the crane, my asshole takes a bite out of the seat. Yeah, I'd imagine. I'd imagine you probably feel that whole thing shift or something. Yeah. I'm tightening up just thinking about that. That didn't sound right. Jeffers, I wonder if Captain Kirk asked the question every time he slept with an alien. Does your asshole have teeth? And again, in Star Trek, that's another one, right? I mean, like, you know, being promiscuous in the Star Trek universe, that can't be a good idea. Because you don't know, you know? First of all, if the alien species even has like a male-female type thing going on, or they just like getting down with whatever, but you also don't know if those body parts, those orifices that you're gonna have fun with, you don't know if it spits out acid, if it's corrosive, if it's got teeth, if there's razor blades, if it's super hot, if it's super cold, you know what I mean? Like, you don't know. Which is why you have to have foreplay. You have to have foreplay so you can test the waters out, right? Especially if you don't know. You gotta test it out, right? Smell something funny. Something funny going on, right? Where there's smoke, there's fire, right? What's your first indicator that the fire going on? Is you can smell it, right? Anybody been out camp, whatever, you can smell that shit for miles. So you're in there and you're like, oh, I smell something. Oh, something's wrong, right? First indicator. You check the oil. Oh, yeah, fingertips melting off. Yeah, better not put my thing in there. That's why foreplay is important, people. Foreplay is important. Oh, fuck. Anyway. I don't even know where the fuck I am with this. Oh, Jabba's Left Nut. I'll try that one later on my partner. I'm just checking to see if you're from a different universe. That's a hell of a game to play, man. It's a hell of a game to play. Because, I mean, you don't want to go in there blind, right? I mean, like, you know, you want to have good inspection there, but, I mean, you don't just, you know, stick your finger in. I mean, it's going to get bit off. It's a hell of a gamble. That's a hell of a gamble, and you're a brave man. You're a brave man. Ghost of Starman. Maybe sci-fi universes have books with titles like A Beginner Guide to Sex Among the Stars. You know what? I'll bet you that book does exist in this universe, on this planet. Somebody out there who's probably given it more thought than me. Like, realistically, how do you go about, you know, getting down with somebody from, you know, Alpha Centauri, right? I mean, we're giving this way too much thought. B-Man, foreplay is for simps. Ooh, that's... We're coming up with a hard stance right there. It's for simps. So the opposite of that would be that you just ram it home. No primer, no nothing, not even a little spit, just right in there. Man, it's a little unforgiving. It's kind of dangerous. You're taking your own life in your hands there, bud. Especially to continue on with our theme of aliens. You know what I mean? Like, old Captain Kirk just runs into the green chick and just jams it in there, and yeah, teeth, bites it right off. You gambled and lost. You crapped out. And, you know, yeah, you gambled, you lost. Brandon, just give them the quick stabbing and bounce. Peace out. Yeah, just a quick poke of the uglies and you bounce and you fucking jet. Oh, fuck. Alright. Let's do an email. If you're wearing headphones, turn them up or down, because here it comes. Email time. Email time. I don't know how we fucking get onto these topics. I just don't know. Oh, it's done. And this one is from our good man, B-Man. The Ulfin Watch. I like how these turned out. The oxidation on the copper looks better in person. I would like a quick and easy method to weather the cloaks, or should I leave them as is? Do you use weathering powders and the like? Have you played the tabletop game Conquest? The lore is deep, dark fantasy. I'm unsure if I like the models yet. Let's have a look. Isn't this Curse City? Or are we talking about something else? I don't know. Anyway, I thought or maybe I saw these on Instagram. I can't remember. I think these look really good. I like the leader. I like your use of the slight blue and the black of the armor. I like how he feels separate from them, yet with them. Yeah, we were talking about the weathering, right? Before. I like your red. I like the cloth. Nothing really jumps out at me as far as you change course or anything like that. I think it all works. The oxidization feels a bit heavy on the shields. I think I'd like to see a little bit more of that metal come back a bit, especially if you're going for this kind of brass bronze kind of thing. And you were asking about powders, right? Or the weathering powders? Yeah, I've demonstrated using, washes, creating your own wash, using pigments. It's really whatever kind of technique. I mean, again, when weathering, there isn't, one way to do it. It's, like, I don't know if anybody's ever really demonstrated it. Like painting armor, but doing the weathering at the same time. I'm sure somebody has. I don't even know if I have. Maybe I have. I don't know. I don't think I have, though. But like, for example, you're laying that base coat of metal down and mixing brown in at the same time. Basically like a two brush blend to create those tones right from the start, right? Like even the process in which we paint, where essentially we're always layering, and we always think of it in layered terms, and we don't really think of painting things all in one go. At least it's not common. What I mean by that is, for example, the red of the cloth. We lay a base coat of red down, then we lay a layer of a shade down, and then we layer in the highlights, right? We don't really think of it in terms of laying the red down for the mid-tone, and at the same time while adding a deeper tone to create the shadows, while laying the brighter tones to create the highlights, and doing it all in one go. Right? Like we lay red down on the entirety of the area, and then deliberately apply shadows into recessed areas, and then layer in brighter colors onto the high points, so what we assume are highlights, right? We don't really lay the mid-tone down, leaving bare where shadows will fall, because we're going to lay a deliberate color down at that point, and then leaving bare where the highlight's going to go, because we're going to lay our highlight down on that point, right? Kind of like a paint by numbers, where we deliberately already know where high points are going to be and where and shadows are going to be, and the weathering done at the same time. You don't see that a lot. It's base the entire area metal, lay some highlights, throw the weathering, throw another edging on, you know what I mean, and build your layers up. It's all about layering, when that's not the only way to paint, right? We are in our own imaginary constructs and how we proceed with a lot of these things, and it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be that way. For example, like, I'm working on this this McFarlane figure, and I'm going about it the way a scale modeler kind of goes about it. Big broad colors, some shadow points, but otherwise the ambient light creates it, because the way we typically paint a miniature, I've seen some people the way they've painted their figures, and they look really good, but you lose the sense of scale, because the scale at which it's painted is how we paint those smaller things. And so when you apply that that discipline to the really small and paint it something really big, the sense of scale is lost, which is why a lot of scale modelers only put maybe 1 or 2 tones down and then leave it, because it's going to represent, because basically at a distance it looks like something big, because the ambient light plays on the surface more appropriately, right? So that's the way I've been approaching this McFarlane figures. I've been actually leaving a lot of it in base tone, only creating a little bit of shadow and some separation on points, just for, you know, visual sake. But otherwise, I'm not too concerned about creating these really big gradients of color, because I know that down the line, when I finish the figure, I'll be taking pictures with it. And the way we paint miniatures, we're assuming light sourcing, like edge highlighting is an assumed light sourcing on that figure, as opposed to leaving it mostly flat in color and allow the actual light to play on the surface, right? Does that make sense to anybody? I don't know. Maybe not. It might not make sense. Oh, the Gim's joining us. Sup, fellow Earthlings? I hear Coma Space Marine Captain. Also, weekly reminder, Eldar suck. Evan Belleau, Kris. It doesn't matter when it's Arcturian, baby. Yeah, exactly. It's exactly it, man. That's exactly it. It doesn't matter when it's Arcturian. Oh, it's such a great movie. Such a great movie. All right, this next one is from our good buddy Ben Ellis. This is from his Homebrew Kit Bash. Good evening. Good evening. I have been playing with something of a kit bash from my own personal tabletop use. Nothing detailed, but fun nonetheless. Kind regards, Ben. Let's have a look. Oh, holy man. Holy shit. Look at this. Goddamn, man. He's taken those Blade Guard veteran duders and given them destroyer legs. It's kind of like the Soul Drinkers. That's the first thing I think of. Space Marines with spider legs. I think of Soul Drinkers, but what's his name? Sarpedon? Really good stuff, Ben. Holy shit. I like it. I dig it. It's crazy crap. And I dig crazy crap. I like when people go outside the norm for things, for ideas, push the envelope of what we understand within these themes. So, always we'll get a little golf clap from me. Golf clap. Hold on. There we go, Ben. Golf clap for Ben. Hashtag golf clap for Ben. I like the colors. He's been doing this, what is it, kind of like a Legion of the Damned kind of thing, where the black armor with the flames and, you know, stuff like that. Ben, I always enjoy Ben's painting, because Ben is a very effective dry brush enthusiast in as far as how he applies paint and creates color transitions on surfaces. It's primarily through dry brushing, and he's very effective with it. And it looks really good. It looks good. I think he goes maybe a little too many colors from my personal taste, but I do caution those looking to perfect their dry brushing. Ben here pulls it off very effectively, and although I do caution many people out there, and I've talked about this in many videos, of, you know, laying too many colors down, because, you know, you'll get that chalky finish, which is, you know, mostly regarded as kind of undesirable. We end up with that chalky finish. I mean, If you don't give a shit about the chalky finish, then by all means continue to do it. The chalky finish even doesn't hurt, especially on metallics. It actually helps metallics because it actually helps for the metallic to catch more light and give you that metallic shine, as it were. Especially if you're not working on a gloss base, like the prime layer is not gloss. Yeah, metallics. Yeah, dry brushing metallics helps them stay really kind of metallic-y. But I think these are really fun. I like them. Good conversion, simple, straightforward. You know, it's a leg swap, it's a part swap, right? And yeah, I'm really just more caught up with the painting actually than I am the conversions. The conversions are good. Don't get me wrong. But these are a lot of fun. And it's just different, man. And you know what? Again, I will... Oh, this buddy's holding fucking Gilliman's head there. Jeez Louise. God damn, he's walking around Gilliman's head. Yeah, I will always applaud anyone willing to go outside the usual to do something creative and, you know, yeah. Next email... Dark Commission, Ben, the dry brush king. He might very well be, and I like that Ben, you know, is still working with dry brushing, because oftentimes a lot of folk, when they are, you know, mastering different techniques, kind of move on from other things, and I like that Ben is still very much pushing, you know, how far he can go with dry brushing, which I highly recommend. Take an idea of a technique, right? Glazing, you know, two brush blending, wet on wet blending, or dry brushing, or even like overbrushing, whatever, and push that idea and take it as far as you can, right? How far can you go with dry brushing? What are the limitations? Finding out what the limitations are, and that's a good thing, because that helps you get perspective as far as, you know, where you can go with technique and painting and the application, and where it will help you achieve your desired end results, right? Of course, some of us, you know, don't really want to take the time to, you know, really kind of master that kind of stuff, but, you know, something to consider. DeWild. I don't think I've read that name before. DeWild. I totally understand, because I'm painting painting a storm giant miniature and started painting it like a normal mini. Doesn't work the same, though I kind of got away with it for the skin. Yeah, and unfortunately, like a big model like that, he's still supposed to be meant for that scale. So using those kind of techniques on a bigger model, he is still within the scale of that universe, right? You could still use a larger, like a scale model approach to a bigger piece like that, but he may not feel part of that universe anymore, right? Because your theory on how color is applied to that surface, though maybe more realistic, it feels like there's a disconnect there between him and the people who are supposed to be smaller than him, right? The sense of scale might get shifted, which might not be desirable. But yeah, I mean, if you know you're taking, but for example, like the Titans from Titanicus, they're big, you know, versions of the 40K stuff. The big versions of the 40K stuff, we don't quite paint them like miniatures. You know, we leave a lot of that stuff bare, and so when going down to smaller scales, yeah, we want to be deliberate about the highlights and stuff like that. But also, in my opinion, when doing Titanic stuff, using bold saturated color, I think pulls away from the sense of scale. I think to really give those models a sense of scale, the colors should be very desaturated and almost shifting to, well, I mean, for us, as far as we understand when looking at something further away, we see a blue shift, right? Because there's the atmosphere. And so you could argue that in 40K, because you're fighting on different worlds, things at different distances, because of the atmosphere, whatever, right? It might be a green shift, red shift, yellow shift, whatever, right? For us on Earth, for us as humans to understand something being far away, we do see the color being desaturated and shifts towards blue, right? That's just because of distance through the atmosphere. In space, we don't see that because it's a vacuum. There's no atmosphere. So something really, really far away will still have the same color values as it would right next to it, right? So for example, if something was, white, it's going to be that same intensity of white in the vacuum of space. But on Earth, that volume of white really close and being, a mile away, it'll have that slight blue shift. It won't look pure white, right? It'll look, and that's why, like, when you look at mountains, the ice caps on a mountain, they're depicted with blues because that's how we perceive it. We know it's supposed to be white, and you can use a bit of white to indicate that, but that color is shifted towards more blues to represent that. And in Titanicus, the color schemes should reflect that as well, that how we would perceive it, it should shift towards blues and also be very desaturated to represent that scale, that intensity, that massive amount of distance, of stuff. But that's just my opinion. The Wild Artist Opus channel convinced me that dry brush can do some really wonderful things. No, definitely, 100%. And just like Ben's painting there, 100%. You can go very far with dry brushing. You dry brush on larger surfaces. I have like one of my Phoenix bombers. I dry brush all the highlights on it, and at arm's length, it looks like it's airbrushed. You can get that effective with your dry brushing, as long as you don't push too many colors, which is why I caution about using so many colors. Like going from a black to a white, you're going to end up with a really chalky finish. Even if you create those gradient steps in between, it's going to be a challenge and not end up with a chalky finish. As opposed to an off-white to a white, you shouldn't, you know what I mean? Like a very, very like eggshell kind of white, or like bone to a white. You can dry brush that very effectively, right? So, just some thoughts. I don't know what Gim's talking about here. Ghost of Starman, hanging out. Good hanging out today, monkeys. Be off now. Enjoy the rest of the show. Yeah, well, we're wrapping up. I'm going to do one or two more emails, and we will be done for the day. So, continuing on with the emails. This is from our good buddy Legion, repainting a White King. Hi, Kris and monkeys. I repainted another one of my old models, a White King from Vampire Counts. I bought and painted this model back in 2013 and used him a lot in battles. Those took a toll on him. The sword was bent, the cape was broken, and the paint was chipped. That happens when you deem Tupperware an adequate mode of transportation. Jeez. I have seen the error of my ways and transport all my models on magnetized tray. Also, varnishing, that helps too. Yes. After gathering some dust on the to-be repainted shelf, it finally is time to rise again. The original paint job was just base coat of black, one layer of color, and a shade wash, so I decided to keep most of the old color and just paint over it. The model has become part of my ongoing quest to improve my contrast in textures and colors. I think the shield came out especially well in that regard. Best regards from Germany, Legion Miniatures. And so let's have a look at Legion's paint job. Now, Legion is a fantastic painter. Legion has been impressing us for some time with his Salamanders and Dark Eldar. I was trying to remember. Okay, so are we looking at a before and after? I'm going to assume so. Yeah, because the sword broke. I assume that is the old paint job on the right, or it's at the left. Or is this just after some... Because it looks like there's more color depth going on the right one as opposed to the left one. But the sword looks broken on the right-hand side. Unless, of course, we're just in the midst of painting it. Yeah, but I see some chipping and stuff like that. Oof, yeah. He does need some love. Oh, look at this. Okay, so he's gotten love. And we got some OSL going on the sword. The armor is much sharper in its highlights. The cloth, yeah, definitely is a lot better contrast. The base is cleaned up. The paint is deliberate on the entirety of the model. Yeah, it's really nice. It's really good. It's a way to spruce up an old paint job. Definitely. I like it. I like the little spots of green. I like you did the little transparency in the vial on his belt. I like the way you did the glowing effect here. It's just a stippling. It's effective, straightforward, and you know, it gets the job done. I think this is really fantastic. You know, and I think there really should be more of this kind of demonstration for people, especially people who are newer to this hobby, who are less experienced at painting and creating effects, and you know, stippling on a model surface is challenging. It is very simple, like in regards to technique, yet you know, can be challenging to pull off very well, but it does not take that long, respectively, to come to grips with this technique and how to employ it and how to achieve the desired end result. And this is really good. This is a good example of, you know, a straightforward approach to creating a particular effect and wanting to have a particular effect, because so many people want to have OSL on their models. And yeah, I like your edge highlighting on the folds of cloth. It feels like it's right out of a GW magazine. Ooh, is almost like a phthalo red shade on the blue. Is that what it is? Because I see like a purple shift on the cloth, like the ambient backlight onto the far right. I see purple tones. Or did you deliberately put those purple tones in there? I have questions, Legion. Are you here today, Legion? I don't even know. Yeah, I like the glowiness on the sword. I like that. It's a nice touch. Really nice work. Nice highlighting on the red. Yeah, I see the purple and the red. I seen that earlier. Did you do it in the blue as well to kind of have a unifying feeling to the colors? That's a good move. It's a good move. To having the purple be the underlying unifying factor on colors. It's a good way to make colors feel, you know, they're existing in the same space. Really good stuff, Legion. Thank you for sending that in. Awesome. Holy Christ. Kim sent an email, but sent an email with a shit ton of pictures. Now, I am going to get to this, Kim. Don't worry. Legion. Oh, Legion, you are here. It's the old one on the left and a mid-step in the painting on the right. Oh, okay. Yeah, really nice, Legion. Yeah, that sword. Yeah, I realized it was probably an exercise in creating texture as well, but also, you know, putting the impression of that glowing gradient in there. Yeah, like, you know, oftentimes when we are talking about brush techniques and employing them and how to employ them, oftentimes, you know, we get the impression that we should only use a particular technique in one instance and use a technique in another instance, and not using a combination of multiple techniques to achieve our desired end result, I should say. You know, we think, well, we should finish off with a dry brush, you know, do a 2-brush blend, you know, to create the initial gradients, glaze up some transitions here and there, and, you know, I mean, like, we think of it in, like, those kind of terms. Again, it's how we think about this whole process of painting miniatures, right? It's very linear when painting is not linear. Painting is not linear. And so we think of this whole process of being very linear, and, you know, it's not the right headspace. It actually inhibits our ability to properly create, right? When we think within these confines, you know. Now, if your goal is to get your army looking pretty for games, and that's your goal, absolutely nothing wrong with it. Stick within the linear thought process. If your idea is to push this as an art, then you have to break free of those confines. You have to break free of those confines. Because otherwise then it's not art. Right? I think I've made my point on that. Legion. Yeah, the cloak does from a purple to blue. Okay. And I use it in the whole model, even the base tones, and the leather use purple as a shade. Excellent. That's excellent. I like it. I dig it. I didn't notice the purple in the leather, though. Oh, I've already moved past it. Sorry. But yeah. I can't remember what I was going to say now. That wasn't important. Well, it couldn't have been important. Next one is from our good buddy Kaoma. Or Kim. Or Koma. Koma? Kaoma? I don't know. Either way. He hasn't really corrected me either way, so... Hello. Friendly. I will not be able to catch the show live today. You've been in here the whole fucking day. What are you talking about? So I'll have to watch later. But here are some stuff I've done lately. Nothing special, only painted with medium fast paint jobs to tabletop standard. I really don't like to spend more than a day on every model. If you got some tips to up the quality, they're very welcome. And the McFarlane Marine at the end of the email. Best regards, K-Oma, or aka Kim. Now, Kim shares a lot of his progress in Discord, which is why it's a lot of fun to join us in Discord, because there are plenty of people, Kim being especially one of them, that does a lot of sharing, and I welcome that wholeheartedly. I welcome that. And of course, I usually don't offer anything up. I see a lot of your work, Kim, and I don't offer a lot because, well, at this point I'm going to assume if you really wanted some input, you would ask, because obviously, collaborate in that kind of effort. But I do see a lot of his work, and a lot of his work is really, really good, like this right here. There's definitely a distinct style to it. Ways to improve. I mean, you if you're not into spending more than a day on your painting, and you're not interested in, really expanding on pushing the transitions of color and, getting into the really, really minutia of miniature painting, then there's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely. I mean, it's your painting, it's your time. I mean, but to really, master, display type standards, you need to be prepared to spend, anywhere from 50 to 100 hours on a single miniature, even a Space Marine sized, right? You can end up spending that amount of time just, getting into all the little details, and, I like this one. This one's really good. I like this dude. It's effective. I was gonna say the robe could be pushed a little further, but again, I mean, it feels more like it's a hide, like it's a leather, as opposed to a cloth, right? And I mean, it's a Space Wolf, so leather would make sense, right? Yeah, I like your highlighting on the armor. I like your color on the armor as well. I mean, I always like the turquoise for highlighting black. It's just so effective. It does shift, especially if you do use quite a bit of it. It does shift the overall impression of the armor, but within the context, and especially those looking at it through the lens of knowing the context of the figure, it's black. Oh, look at this guy. Yeah, he's very weathered. Although, again, I think we've talked about this before, Kim. Avoiding uniformity in the weathering. Like where it feels very effective here is like on the legs and the collar. On the shoulders, it feels a little uniform. And the backpack feels a little uniform, you know? But yeah. No, I like this. This is really good. Back of a catchin? Back of a catchin. Front of a catchin. How come all the bases aren't done? Well, his base is done, but all the Space Marines, all the bases aren't done. What's going on there, Kim? What's going on? And there apparently is a part 2, I think. Hold on here. Now, like I said, a lot of Kim's work is in the Discord, so if you really want to keep up on the work Kim's doing, feel free to join us on Discord. Or don't. I don't care. I like the transition to the greens. It's nice. It feels like the color's a little blown up, but I think that's the camera shot. I think it's the lighting in the camera. Ooh, look at this guy. I like that. I like colors like that. Off green, purple, with the yellow vibes. I like that. I like it. I like it. Oh, some Kingdom Death. Nice. Really nice work on the non-metallic metal. Straightforward. I like the flesh. You know? Hair looks good. I like the highlights on the hair. I think the highlights in the hair, you could go a little bit more closer together on, like, for example, like the curvature of her hair to the far left. Oh, no, you kind of do. Okay, never mind. You do kind of. It's just not quite as pronounced there. It's just, yeah, because, like, see the far curvature on the left? How you have that highlight there, but then you have that big curve, like you see the highlight running through the central spot a little bit to the right of it. Yeah. I think I would have probably had that highlight on the big curvature on the far left of it, where that the curvature runs down. I think I would have had that where that column of light running down the hair. I would have had that, and that emulated on that hair, that curvature above. And then on the left, and then it would have ran that way. And then it would have got deeper towards where, closer to her arm. And then, of course, the top of her head also as well, emulating that. Really good stuff, though. I like this model. I like the color. That teal and the magenta. Good stuff. Oh, yeah, we've seen these guys. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, and you hand-painted these scales, right? You deliberately did that? Yeah. Yeah, it's good stuff. Bone Dudes. Kingdom Death. Space Marines. Cam. What didn't we do here, Cam? Cam. I'm just teasing. Yeah, I like the way you did the armor on these guys. It's very, very cool. Me likey. I like the colors too. The magenta in the flesh and some of the other little spots there really, really works well with the tone of the armor. Really nice work on the non-metallic on this guy. Yeah, very good. Ooh, look at this guy. Yeah, I've seen these guys. I like the colors on these. That very faded teal with the magenta non-metallic metal in there. I like that. I like it. I like it a lot. It works so well with these Necrons. Yeah, that looks really good. Yeah, das ist good. Fucking Space Marines. Fuck off. I'm just being an asshole. Really good stuff, Kim. Thank you for sending that in. Awesome. Thank you. I was just being an ass. Where am I here? Holy carmolies! Lots of comments here from Kim. That's an old email. Oh, that's an old email? Was it? Oh, not the one I just sent today. Oh, that second part was it? Oh, you must send it as a reply then. Send it as a fresh email. Dark Mission is rather good as usual. Kim? Yeah. Mostly don't bother to drill the barrels. I know, I'm just teasing. I know, because I go on and on about, drilling out the barrels, taking down the mold line, stuff like that, right? Yeah. But realistically, when I'm harping on about that kind of stuff, it's really more just to make you guys aware of that kind of stuff, especially for anybody who wants to progress further with painting, pushing towards more display competition type standards. You really got to nail down that beginning stuff. You have to have that on lockdown if you really want to entertain any kind of possibilities of really being a contender as far as display and competition type standards, right? Because it's that kind of nitpicky type of viewing that judges are going to really look at, right? So, yeah. You got to be really nitpicky. Dark Commission, oh, come on. You could say you captured the moment with that flat-nosed projectile is just about to leave the barrel. Yeah, it's the very tip of the bullet. Is that the thing? No, it's the bullet. It's modeled. It's just about leaving the barrel. I get it. Ha ha ha. If you want some help with your painting, maybe you have a question about technique or paint schemes or whatever it is, feel free to send me an email, Kris@wayofthebrush.com. If you're going to send pictures, send them as attachments in email. Don't send it off as links to other sites because it just won't do it. And of course, you can find that in the description below, as well as a link to wayofthebrush.com. Central hub of all this silliness has links to all the social medias as well as Discord. Join us on Discord. It's a lot of fun. We kept the conversation rolling there. And of course, you get the full Kim treatment in Discord, and we have the work in progress and we also have the finished. So if you just want to show off what you're working on, feel free. If you want to show off what you've just recently completed, feel free. If you just want to check out what other people are doing, feel free. Only one rule: don't be a dick. That's it. That's all. That's the only rule I have in my Discord. Don't be a dick. It's a pretty broad rule though, so I could just kick you for no reason at all, just calling you a dick. You're a dick, and you're gone. It's my server, my rules. I can do whatever I like. Again, that makes me sound like a dick, but anyway. Also at wayofthebrush.com, you'll find a link for Patreon support. Huge thank you to all my patrons. Without your support, this channel would not be able to continue to do what it is that I do, which is to educate, inform, entertain, sort of, and, help you guys. Really, that's the point of this channel, is to help you guys. Fresh Tips, it's all about informing, demonstrating, right? Way the Brush, answering your questions. It's all about you guys. So if you guys didn't tune in, I wouldn't bother doing this. And if you didn't support my Patreon, I wouldn't be able to afford to do this. So there we go. If you're not able to support monetarily, i.e. money, thumbing up the video, liking, following, subscribing, sharing, commenting, and all that other interaction stuff with the video helps as well. So a huge thank you to everybody who does. And all it takes is a couple clicks of a button, and you're helping me out a good deal. Great deal, I should say. Big thank you to Carl, Guy Mir Alfer, Beer and Blood Bowl, YouTube channel. Check it out. We always take time to thank Carl, even though he is no longer with us, for taking the time out of his busy day. Okay, the email jingle that played for me, email segments of the show. So always much love to Carl. And of course, speaking of love, much love to my baby bro Evan for creating the intro, outro music that plays the begin and end of the show. So always much love to my baby bro Evan. And if you're into rare comics, like rare, not well done, rare, maybe a little bit of A1 sauce or HP, whichever one you prefer. It's a steak sauce. Anybody who doesn't know what the hell HP or A1 sauce is. And if you don't know what A1 or HP sauce is, I mean, I'm afraid we can't be friends, I guess. It's really what I'm boiling that down to, yeah. If you don't know what that is, we can't be friends. And if you have a disdain for it, we really can't be friends. All right, I've made enough stupid ass jokes. EB Comics in description below. Check it out. That's where I was going with that bullshit. All right, we're done. No other lasting comments. No more comments from the peanut gallery. No, I think we're done. Thanks for watching today. Hopefully this was something entertaining. I don't know, informative. I was a little bit, to recap, I was a little bit disappointed in the reveal today, as it really didn't reveal a whole lot, but, you know, whatever's, right? Take care of your brushes. They'll take care of you, and I will see you guys later. I will. No matter what occurs, I'll see you later. Maybe. Probably.
Even if there was an apocalypse?
Possibly. What?
If there was an apocalypse?
If there was an apocalypse?
Yeah, would you still?
Yeah.
That's some dedication.
That is dedication, isn't it? Even if there was an apocalypse, we still would gather. What are you doing?
Getting a fan.
The other fan?
The other fan.
The other fan? It's getting hot in here. I got like fucking 10 fans going here in my house. If I put them all attached to my house and pointed them all downwards, I probably could lift the house. I got those big industrial sons of bitches. What is it? 20 inches? 21 inches?
50 centimeters. I don't know how many inches that is.
It says right there, 20 inch. High velocity.
Oh, so first, sorry. I just see that one. I only saw 50. It has in both measurements, Dad.
Honey.
I looked at the measurement.
All right, I'm getting the hell out of here. We can't do any more damage. I'm getting hungry. I need to eat. I needs to eat. Needs. My need is great.